Tell you what, these Daniel Tupou videos that I've been seeing all week long, I'm gonna get. I haven't planned anything specifically, but for the next game, I'm going to talk about Daniel Tupou and what he means to me. And I genuinely don't know the words I'm going to use, but I don't know the words that I can use to really explain what that player means. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Is he showing the game? No, sir. I am not Fox League. I would, unfortunately, get banned from YouTube, and I'm not overly keen to do that. So, and Twitch. I'd get banned from Twitch as well. All right, so what we're doing right now is an exception. I am back, right? I'm back live on YouTube. People are saying, when will he come back? I'm back. Right? No? Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. I used to do a lot of stuff where I'd look at, like, viewers' content on stream, and then I stopped doing it for a while. But Money God has been campaigning for a long time for me to do his NRL card trading game. I don't really know much about how it works. I'm pretty sure there's a premiership mode here. So, we're going to give that one a go. He has a better version of the game coming out in a little while. So, anyway, we'll just see what he's come up with. Amsterdam Cobras, of course, is our team name. I need to open the packs and then we can do a premiership. I see. Let's open a pack. The ratings don't seem to make sense to me in my mind. But there's commons and there's rares and epics and stuff. And it really depends on that, the overall rating of the player you get. I was off stream for 20 seconds and you're talking about what Toots means to you. I've spoken about stuff that's a lot less relevant than that. Alright, so that's not great to start. We've got a 60 overall Jerome Hughes. Sick. I have 3 players. I now have, okay, a 99 rated Jamal Fogarty. Sure. Alright. Sick. Brilliant. And a 60 rated Moses. How have you done the player ratings, Money God? How have you done them? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to get, was it 13 players that I need? That would make sense. So I'm going to do literally that amount. Or do I need to add more? Oh, wait, I didn't collect those players. Damn, I don't seem to be getting very good players. That I will admit. Okay, that one didn't seem to work, unfortunately. But it did say cards added to collection. Hell yes. That's slightly better overall players. Hughes is playing like a 60-rated late fan is unfortunately true. We got a common Tom Gilbert and a legend Tom Gilbert in the same thing. Sick. Right. I don't think I have those players, but apparently I can pick from those players. What is foil? I can't click off this, so I need to pick one. Chance. Sure. Oh, I'm the best player in the game, apparently. That's sick. What does foil mean? Do I have... No, I don't have 13 players yet. Okay. I don't really... Do I not have 13 players? I thought I've opened enough packs. Canva AI, I use it to help make it and get it started, but I'll try to edit the HTML. Fair enough. Oh, I got me. I didn't even notice that. My bad. Completely missed that. They're talking about the Roosters and Daniel Tupou. There is a game in between. Do I need to put players in like this? Alias, I'm going to put 2 versions of myself in the centers. Why is Zach Lomax up there? It's all Zach Lomax and Brian Toto. Sure. Kieran Forum. Jamal Fogarty. I don't know. Who's Caleb Kingsford? Is that... I have no idea who that is. Tarpany. Grant. Tarpany again. Me. And Jake Trebojevic. That's our team. Will it let me simulate? Yes. And we won. We didn't go 27-0. I don't know if that's the goal. But there we go. Hey, I'll take it. I don't understand it. But hey, I'll take it. It was something. It was something. Yeah, I noticed that earlier, Money God. But that is funny. That is funny. Anyway, yeah, when you release the patched up version and stuff, we can give it another go. But anyway, what was that Dolphins game, brother? I have not the foggiest of clues. That was mental. Like, what the Sharks have actually just achieved is crazy. They just won in a game where they were not favourites going into it against a top 4 side. I know that they had a lot of players out through State of Origin, the Dolphins, but to win by that margin is crazy work. Absolutely crazy work. It's changed. That one game has changed the outlook on the top 4. Suddenly the Sharks are right there. They are in that conversation. The Dolphins, they're not like under much. They're under a bit of threat, to be honest. But one of their big assets that they had, their brilliant for and against, has just been wiped out. It's gone. I want to look at actually. We'll go back onto the webpage here. I'm curious as to who they've got for the rest of the season. Let's have a little squiz. Let's have a little rugby league look. Here we go. So Cowboys next week. That's far from a gimme. Then a bye. That's important because a lot of the teams that are in and around that don't have a bye left to go. Check the mod code. Rebs is absolutely unhappy. I can imagine. I can certainly imagine. Dragons they'll beat. Broncos will probably beat. Seagulls put 50 on them earlier. Eels will probably beat. Roosters, I think Roosters will be out for hella revenge in that game. I don't think they'll win that. But that could be a genuine winner gets top 4. And then Titans at the end. So certainly a lot of games in there. I think probably one of the easier draws I've seen of those top 4 teams. Titans, Eels, Broncos, Dragons still to come. But yet to play Roosters, yet to play Cowboys, yet to play Manly. There's some losable ones in there. Those are the games that are really going to determine things. Because we're looking at the ladder, they're 10-7 right now. That's not top 4 record. Really, they're going to have to win more of those games than they lose, certainly, in order to go on and make top 4. That for and against was 130. And it's now 64. Roosters will probably have better for and against by them by the end of today. Sharks are up in 3rd, Where has that come from? Anyway. Hello, mate. You're my favourite rugby league YouTuber. Thank you very much, Toa. Much appreciated. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your kind words as well. My dogs beat Snoopy again. If I send you the photo, will you show everyone? Sure, I will. At the Leaguie, there is now a correlation between the team getting faded and quoting Count Bin Face on a Leaguie stream. So basically, if I want Bulldogs to get faded in this next match, all I need to do is say that I'm going to build at least one affordable house and nationalise the Dell. Leaguie, is it possible for the Dolphins to win the Cup after that game? Well, look, if you subscribe to the 50-0 curse, which is... Sorry, it's not even 50-0, 50-point curse, where no one in first grade Australian Rugby League history has conceded 50 points and gone on to win the premiership, then no, because they've now done it twice. Admittedly, though, while that's an interesting stat, we have come very close. Rabbitohs in 2021 made a grand final and narrowly lost it after conceding 50 earlier in the season. And really, I think it's a nice little novelty thing to talk about. But yes, the Dolphins can go on and win the comp. They'll get their players back. I think their roster is one of the best in the comp. I think Panthers and Roosters are the only teams who, on paper, are better. They'll be there. They'll be there. If they're not in a prelim final, I'd be a little bit surprised, to be honest. Imagine if the Sharks S-House into a premiership. Their trajectory at the back end of the season would kind of lead to that, right? Lead to a grand final. The way that they've kind of just built it up, going a week deeper, gradually in recent years. I don't think that they will. I don't think they've got the consistency to do it. But their record is now 10-6. And I'm like, Roosters have been absolutely brilliant this season, and they've got a record of 10-5. So, 2 of the Sharks' losses as well. A third of the Sharks' losses have come against the Roosters this year. That's crazy. So that's through a gamble. They can be up by 26 and then lose or do this. Yeah. Well, okay. It is an interesting conversation. What's the Sharks draw for the rest of the season? Let's have a look. Oh, that looks a bit more tricky. Okay, so Knights next week. In at Shark Park, that's important. If it was Newcastle, I think probably Newcastle are favourites in that one. Seagulls versus Sharks, that'll be interesting. So really, these next two games could define it. It could be down to that. I think that whoever makes the top 4 and doesn't make the top 4, by the end of the season, the margins are not going to be big. It's going to be separated by 4 points, maybe. 2 points could be the difference between making it and not making it. And so, these are the teams that they're competing with. Literally. Well, they've just played one in the Dolphins, now Knights and Seagulls. Really important period. They've obviously succeeded massively in the first test. See what they can do in the next couple. Even Rabbitohs. Like, Rabbitohs are not... I think it's an extension of that, really. They're not a top 4 team, but they're certainly a team aiming for the top 8. That will be a really interesting game. And then a little bit of reprieve against Dragons and Raiders and Titans and Eels. So that's you'd think is 4 wins. Storm in the final round. Storm could be playing to make the 8 at that point. So I don't know. It's really interesting. I think that this draw here could see them absolutely charge into the finals. Dragons, Raiders, Titans, Eels. That could be 4 wins on the trot, and then potentially 5 if they can get a win there against Melbourne. But it's defined here. It's defined throughout that period. Leaguie, you've seen Pauline's had a huge fall-off in the polls. I can see the Sharks getting belted just as badly. By who? I don't know if it's the Sharks getting belted after what they've just done, but yeah, sure. Did a team conceding 49 win a comp? Or do we just say 50 because, it's round? This is a nice little matchup as well, I just want to say. Canterbury and Canberra. I like these two playing each other. One, because they're both can, and that just kind of makes it funny in my mind. But also something about the blue and the green. It's very LeaguieGames core. And it feels like two, good historical teams. A bit of Ricky Stewart about it, so... Bit of Corey Harawira-Naira about it. Bit of Nick Kotrick about it, so to speak, if you will. Bit of Matt Frawley. Bit of Matt Frawley going on in this matchup here. Just want to put that out there. Little bit of Matthew Frawley. That is not the way that that's meant to look. There's a program I have to run, and yeah, there we go. Still got 20 minutes, though. Still got 20 minutes, so actually. Let's, I've jumped the gun ever so slightly there. We can just keep doing these. Oh, let's see the NRL grid. I feel like it's been a while since I've done the NRL grid. Knights won in 01, conceding 49. There we go. So it's not just because it's a nice round number. Play the new NRL chain game? Okay. Hell yes. How to play. Connect 2 players through real teammates. Start with the first player, then add anyone who shared a first grade club team sheet with the last player in your chain. The chain closes itself when your pick has also played at the same club as the target. Par is the fewest possible links. Wow, okay. Jesus. Avoid wrong links. 4 strikes breaks the chain. Tied scores are split by total career games of your links. Lower is better. Okay. This is cool. Greg McKee, South Illawarra and Canterbury, 1980 to 89, and Jack DeBellin.
Someone just redeemed a thing. Lorenzo Theraborn just redeemed, changed the background color. Legman, my leg is sore. How much money for one of yours? Give me orange. I like orange.
Look, my legs are kind of important to me, we'll be honest. I need them. Not specifically, though, right now. So I can, send it to you on loan if you like. I'll do that for free. Hello, Hardblocks. How you going? First animation glitch. It wasn't a glitch. So the animation exists in OBS, which is my streaming software. But I need to run another program as well for it to look normal. And I had not been running that program because I had to go in and change it to the new game setting, and I hadn't pressed refresh. Anyway, that's basically what happened then. Yeah, this seems cool. I'm a Tigers supporter. I know we've been flogged, but we kind of have an excuse, but still shouldn't have lost 68-0. Yeah, you shouldn't have lost 68-0. But there's been a number of other things this season that have happened for the West Tigers that certainly should not have. I really like this is before my time. 90s at Canterbury. In fact, not even 89 at Canterbury. I don't have a clue. I don't think this is correct. I don't know. I wouldn't have played as early as 89. No. I don't know. Can someone give me some help? Score prediction. I think Canterbury will get the win. I still rate the Raiders actually quite highly, much more highly than they probably deserve. But I think Canterbury have that hunger. Speaking of though, thank you for the reminder. I'll put a poll up. Leaguie, can I make Dolphins be the new Magpies? Why don't you like the Dolphins? I mean, they're still like right up there. They're still a very, very good team. Let's be reasonable here. El Masri, that was the only one that I put in. Peter Tunks, but then admittedly, like, I need to know someone who played with Peter Tunks. Yep. 41 games together at South. That doesn't help. Okay, Penrith in the 90s. Who's the dude? There's a dude. He was a hooker. This is not good. Do you think Chooks are winning tonight? I do think Chooks are winning tonight. Yeah, I'm not super confident, but anyway. I want to see if I can do like a previous day's one. Apparently not. Par is 3, so 3 is the minimum number that you could possibly do. Fitler? Maybe. Yes, 11 games together. Okay, that's brought us big. That's brought us big into the modern era. Let me think here. So, a young player who was in that kind of O2 setup. Mini cello. That's a good one. That's a good link. Brings us up to 2014. I think I can find a player who played with Minicello and DeBellin. I think I can do that. Yeah, definitely. Surely there was a player that moved between the Dragons and the Roosters around that time. Nenny McDonald? Oh, yes. I'm pretty happy with that. Given that par was 3 and we did it in 4 and we started with no clue, we've done well. Soward would have been a good one as well. Would Soward have played with DeBellin? Probably. Yeah, from 2011 he certainly would have, yeah. Good point. I think Tunks played with Freddie, so we could have got it. Yeah, he would have. He would have. Sorry, yeah, no, of course. Yeah. That's the point. Sorry, I was thinking McKee. I love that I went Nene McDonald instead of Jamie Soward, by the way. That's kind of a little bit low-key, genuinely hilarious. I like this, though. There were 626 par 3 routes today. Shortest was Greg McKee, Dean Payne, Nathan Hummus, Jeremy Lattimore, Jack DeBellin. I mean, I know all those players, in fairness. Number 5 out of 28 on today's ladder. So only 28 people are playing this. Here's a practice one. I'll take a practice one. Jordan McLean and David Peachy. This seems doable. Working backwards, though. I'm trying trying to think if we can find a South player, sorry, a Cronulla or South player who then moved to Melbourne and played with Jordan McLean. Probably not. McLean played in that 2017 Storm side. No. Oh, no. I don't know why. It seems so much harder in my mind to work backwards rather than forwards. Could just go like Cam Smith. And that brings us like well back in time. Inglis wouldn't have played with McLean at any point. He might have played with Peachy. No, he still wouldn't have played with Peachy at Souths. So he might be like a link in the middle, but doesn't link with either of them individually. You could go, I guess, Smith and then Inglis and then someone that played with Peachy and Inglis at South. That's probably it. But Paru's only 2. So that would be 3 links. Anyway, I'll probably just do that. Smith, Inglis, and then Sutton. Yeah. So that's not bad. I like this. We can do just random practice ones. Hell yeah. Stacey Jones and Kurt Catewall. Par is 2. This is the last one we're doing. Surely... yeah, I could do this in 2. Mannering and Johnson. Yeah. Could go Cant Smith into Russell Aiken. I don't think I know who Russell Aiken is. Adokar played with McLean. Did he? It was only the 2017 team. I thought McLean might have left after that grand final. Did he stay one more season? He might have played like the odd game or whatever. I don't know. That's good though. I really enjoy this. It's interesting to try and think about. Anyway, let's do the grid. Will Hopewhitey teammate in at Parramatta. He was in the 2015 team there at Para. So I can pick one of the players from the King. Cameron King. No, not Cameron King. Let's not do the NRL grid. I don't like thinking. Let's throw crap at a wall and hope it sticks. Just immediately gave up. Just at the first possible inconvenience, just like absolutely yoited that thing out. Adokar scored in the 17 grand final, so he was on one wing and Corabetti was on the other. Oh yeah, it was Vunivalu who came in to replace Corabetti. I thought Adokar came in to replace Corabetti. So true, King. Yes, I forgot. Broncos 2010. There's a little kid, decent little player. Played pretty well back in the day. His name was Duren. That's how it was pronounced. Wanted to pick him at fullback there, misclicked. Anyway, Tigers 04. Oh, good. I get the chance to pick. Do I get the chance to pick Benji? Was Benji there? Benji was not there. He was there. Good. 10 minutes before game. Hell yes. Thank you for the reminder, actually. I was getting caught up by that. Cowboys 07. Damn. Could have used JT. Anyway. Matt Scott is the play. Adokar did replace him. Corabetti left at the end of 16. So, the wingers in 17 were Vunivalu and Adokar? Really? Thoughts on the pizza I sent to ANU? I mean, you're going to need to be more specific than that if you want to get it to me, brother. But I think we know. Why that's not the case. James Graham. Hell yes. Knights 2019. It's not one of the great teams. I always forget that Ramian played for Newcastle for a bit. I wonder how good Connor Watson is in this game. Would not be very high. Certainly not high enough to pick. Manly 2025. Yeah, well, we've just used up the fullback spot. Not what you want, and we got no halves available. That's a reroll. Cowboys 04. Oh no, that's not good. That is not good. It's going to be Luke O'Donnell, I reckon. Matt Singh played Origin. Sure. Anytime you get Lockie, put him at fullback. He's one of the best fullbacks in this game. I always do. I misclicked this time around. Misclicked. Annoying. Which kind of, it cost us Thurston. But anyway. Is what it is. Was Inglis? Yeah, Inglis was there. Was Inglis? Inglis was. Oh, we can still go with Matt Cooper on the wing. We can't go with Gaznia. Riddell. No, I won't go Riddell. Got weird spots left. Tigers 2000. We might end up picking Luke O'Donnell after all. John Hopewadi. I'll go Luke O'Donnell. This ain't going to be the team. Penrith 2024. Sick. Toto. Nearly clicked on Alamotti accidentally. Again, Penrith 2024. We've got hookers and back rows. Well, we're not going to go with Kenny. I don't think. Yeah, Liam Martin. And we have with Cowboys 06. No reroll available. Oh, no. Sick. Oh, I'm never going to get this. I'm actually never going to get this. Who cares? Not me. I'm thoroughly unfussed. Let's just get into the teams, hey, shall we? Looking at the changes, we do have some, indeed. Bronson Sherry comes into the starting side in jersey number 19. Jed Stewart comes into the wing spot as well. He's a controversial player among Canberra Raiders fans, that's for sure. But anyway, gets his opportunity again today. Stephen Crichton continues his role in at 5'8". That's very much changed things up there at Canterbury. And they've, I think kind of looked the better since he moved. Fanatic says, tell me about it. I was thinking of you specifically when I said I'm not going to get this. I was like, if Fanatic didn't get it in that long, yeah, I'm never getting it. Side note, NRLW is currently playing Roosters v Knights. Of course, my bad. I completely missed the start of that. Roosters have scored? Hell yeah. I'm going to be watching that game. I'm going to be watching that game on the side. I need to set it up on my screen. Anyway. Looking at the rest of the team, so Kurtman will come in at start at hooker. They've moved that around a little bit lately at various different times, taking different approaches. Atamariota starting in the back row. Crazy changes. So Strange is starting on the interchange bench after backing up for a state of origin, as is Hayward, obviously not after origin, but anyway. Preston comes onto the interchange. Kobe Black comes onto the interchange. Sean O'Sullivan comes onto the interchange. And it's an absolute commentator's nightmare because there are players in a million different jerseys at a million different times. It's not what your rugby league want at the end of the day. Damn. But yeah, I'll be... Okay, to be clear, so I'm a Roosters fan. I love the Roosters NRLW team. I'm going to be primarily watching Bulldogs and Raiders. I'm going to be commentating Bulldogs and Raiders. But off to the side on my screen, I'm going to be, as well, keeping an eye on the Roosters game. Was it Jocelyn? Oh, it's Jocelyn who scored. Was it? No, the score looks like it's 0-0 to me. Apparently, it's not 4-0. I love Jocelyn. I absolutely love Jocelyn Kelleher. She's so good. Why is Jed Stewart controversial? It's just not, you know. Whoa! Whoa! What is happening? We've never had this happen before. Well, I banned the other bot, but evidently, you know, that's not enough. Wow. YouTube's got to get that, you know, moderated a bit better. God damn. Okay. Was the 66-0 score the biggest margin in favor of the Sharks? They didn't mention it as that. I don't know. Banned that website? I don't know if on YouTube I can ban specific phrases. On Twitch I can. I need to find out, I guess. Alright, Dogs at a team huddle. I'm not going to be confused whatsoever by the fact that I'm commentating and watching one game while also kind of watching a different game at the same time. What the hell just happened? In the Dolphins Sharks game? God knows, bro. Try and explain it. Control C that website, then ban that specific phrase. Again, I know how to do that on Twitch. I don't know if I can do that on YouTube. Michael Ennis just said, I think maybe the most Michael Ennis sounding phrase of all time. This game at GIO Stadium last year was maybe my favourite game of the year. It was maybe my favourite game of the year. One of the best games of the season. One of my favourite games of the year. That's what it was. It was one of my favourite games of the year. Shout out Buzz Lightyear, aka Michael Ennis. Love him. It was one of my favourite games of the year last year. I was there. I'll give it that. It was pretty freaking special. Pretty special. We will give you grace, Legman. Thank you very much. Appreciated. So, yeah, they're going to do a minute's silence at the start of the game. I will remain quiet as well as they do that. We still got a few minutes, though, before kickoff, and they're just still getting ready to go out there. Are any of you guys going to be keeping an eye on the Roosters Knights game as well? If you see me looking here, it's because I'm watching that. A good return there from Corbin Baxter. Is that a character for Toy Story? Buzz Lightyear, yeah. Yeah. Shocking. Leaguie comes forward about his divorce as his half-sister is in hospital with the big C. Not the big C. Anything but the big C. More at Not a Scam blog. Yes, shout out the Facebook AI slot videos. It was funny. So remember Smart Guy? I mean, he's still around every now and then. I don't know if he's watching now, but he messaged me on Discord saying that he'd found this AI scam article, and I was like, yeah, I covered that in my video, and he was like, oh. And I was like, oh, well, evidently he didn't watch my video then, I suppose. But it was funny. It was cute. All right, here come the Raiders. Clanker-loving daughter or AI Facebook son? Clanker-loving daughter. I think that's an issue that I can resolve. Anyway. Why are they doing a minute silence? The passing of Ron Raper. Really unfortunate surname, but there's been a lot of really good rugby league rapers over the years. It's just true. It's just like that. It sounds like on paper an awful thing to say, but Johnny Raper, one of the greatest players ever back in the day. Like, it's a really unfortunate surname, and it's not my fault that it is. Here come the doggies. It looks like a decent crowd out there. It should be a decent crowd. It's Saturday afternoon. Old Boys Day, they mentioned there as well. And obviously a lot on the line there for Canterbury. A lot on the line for Canterbury. Really interested to see what the crowd is. Sort of seeing behind the goalpost there. And there's actually quite a few people there, which normally when there's not a lot of people at the ground, those bays are completely empty. Well, they're going to do their moment of silence. So I'm going to mute myself and my stream music just throughout this period, just for a sign of respect. And I'll be back. Yeah, it's not meant to be pronounced differently. It's not. It's just an unfortunate name. It was very common back in the day. It's not so common nowadays. But, yeah, very good crowd out there. Roosters goals scored throughout that period, and I was like, I can't really celebrate, right? That's not appropriate. But, like, at the same time, my God, Tara Naked is actually the best player in the world. It's crazy how good she is. And my girl, Jocelyn Kelleher, converts from in front. Love that. What's the spread and total? If they're betting terms, I'm actually not across them. I'm not really a gambler, so don't know, unfortunately. We have kickoff. If you want to stick up with me, there we go. Crowd's all right out there. It's actually not as big as I first thought it was going to be. Anyway, Burton with the take. Gets it on to find Leo Thompson. Interesting. Burton very much wearing number 3, but he was sort of lined up at 5'8" there. No, he gets out to the center spot early on. That's a very good early win there for the Canberra Raiders there, physically. Getting the shots coming off their own line there. I wonder why it's not common nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Can't imagine. But yeah, no, there was a player called Johnny Raper back in the day who, like, he's cute, like a properly legendary player from back in the day. I love the line Andrew Vosser said about Kurt Mann's headgear. It's the whitest white headgear I've ever seen. Jed Stewart doesn't take that cleanly, and in fact it ends up with Karaz. Is that going to be 6 more, or is it going to be changeover? No, changeover. I reckon that there, honestly, Jed Stewart had first possession, and then it was a one-on-one steal with Karaz, but anyway, is what it is. Johnny Sa'a? What? No, Johnny Raper. If you embrace the betting, you'll get sponsors. Just an idea. I certainly would. I could get betting sponsors tomorrow if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So I won't. It's not for me. Nothing against creators that have gambling sponsors. It's just not for me. The blog website I've investigated. It's a website where you can see whatever you want. You write about blogs and people can see it. Similar to social media, except it's not at the same time. Also, the Raper thing was clipped by me, lol. I got mod checked for saying his last name. Yes, in fact, I think Cat has as well. It does sound wrong, but it's his name. Not good, but it's his name. So, yeah. Whitest headgear I've seen since Reed Marnie. Well, you know, it's a dog's hooker, so it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Looking at who you guys think is going to win this one, it is split down the middle, 50-50 after 28 votes. That's what you want. This late in the season, not being able to separate two sides, that's brilliant. I'm surprised that there's as much love for the Raiders as there is, though. I mean, I feel something sneaky. I feel something sneaky about the Raiders today. I tipped the Dogs, but I feel something a bit sneaky. I didn't feel much sneaky about the Sharks, not quite as much, but something about Canberra. Is that another 6 more? I think it was. Yeah, it was. So, 3 minutes gone in this one. They've got a new set and they're about 35 metres out. Good ball there to find Josh Curran. Man gets it to the right-hand side to find Galvin. Leo Thompson is underneath. Gets it to about 25 out. Went to get an offload initially, but they're forced down by the Raiders. They've defended quite well. Just giving away 6 against. It's not what you want. Now in the hands of Galvin again. Gets it to find Tracy. Short ball to find Salmon, who's now playing in that back row role rather than that lock role. I think that's definitely a plus. Galvin hits it. Comes off the post. They've scored. They've scored early on here. Sanders picks it up and was set to run away again there. But I think Harry Hayes has got his head down. I don't know. No, the ruling is that he's lost it over the goal line. Never mind. Danny says it went begging. I just assumed he must have scored, surely, with the quality of that opportunity, but he's not celebrating it. It was good work from Lockie Galvin. Kicked it squarely off the middle of the pad. Hayes was there. Let's see here. Picked it up cleanly enough. Nah, that's, yeah. The pickup was a little bit dodgy. It was a little bit dodgy, and then it just got worse from that point, unfortunately, for him. No try. No try. That's a shame. That really did go begging for them. But that would have been the dream start for the Bulldogs. Exactly what they'd want. All right, on there to find... is that a run from Hosking? Yes. Patty in a dummy half. Gets it now to find Matt Timoko with a good run there. So Yes, Sasangi is back in the centres, but he's wearing number 3, not number 4. I keep miscommentating them, which sort of goes to show the size of Matt Timbercore, but anyway. Run there from Dane Laurie, coming in to start at 5'8" over Strange. It's interesting. I know there's quite a few teams for this round who have not named their Origin 3 players. That ball bounces away from Jed Stewart and just goes over the sideline there. I know that obviously you got Parramatta not naming Moses, you got the Roosters not naming Walker and Robson. This is another example of that. Leaguie, I need to walk half an hour to Allianz because no trams are running in Sydney Central. Really? Jesus. That is shocking. The light rail's not running. I'm going to give you guys chair content for like a couple minutes. I need to run and check something. I'll be back in just a sec. Yeah, so there was free food upstairs, and on God, like on my Lord Jesus Christ himself, I ain't letting that go to waste. I ain't letting that go to waste. Not a rugby league chance. Rinakama, they're going to score here, are they? Rinakama. No, he's lost it. 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 Savage is gone. Savage will score here. Savage will score. This is a try. Well done, Raiders. Raiders have scored. Easy. Raiders try. Forget it, bro. Raiders have scored. That's crazy. That's crazy. What did the Jaree Buller versus Dragons? What did the Luke Brooks versus South and Burgess? Rinakama dropped it. Open and shut case. Ain't even a deep thing. He dropped it. Rinakama dropped this. And Savage scored. The Dogs are celebrating it. Yeah. And they just all let him go. They all let him go as they're celebrating it. Jeez. It's not what you want. I have so many questions. It's not that complicated. Ask away. Rinakama dropped the ball while putting the ball down. The only man who was there was Savage, who just picked it up and went. Tell you who did well. Was it Harry Hayes? It's a big Harry Hayes in jersey number 15. No, it's AJ Jones. Jones is on the field, really? Bro, the ball's come free. Ball, like, absolutely came free. Have you been following the Miskif Imru drama at all? He sued her for defamation after she accused him of DV and has been caught lying on multiple things. Interested in hearing a lawyer on this. Have not been following it. Raiders try, by the way. Try confirm. Knower of ball over here. Like, just throwing that out there. I had zero doubt in my mind at all. That's hilarious. I love that. Up the Raids. Let's go. I've heard of Miskif. I have not heard of Imru. But so she accused him of DV and was caught lying. And so he sued her for defamation. If it's just simply the way that you wrote it out there, then I don't really have a heap to add. That just seems legally reasonable. It's funny. I've seen there's a this will be interesting actually. So I've seen a opinion recently come out on social media a lot. More so than I would normally see it. Sorry, Jess Surges is doing an absolute madness at center right now, by the way. Holy guacamole. As Sanders is set to convert this, and he does. Yeah, so talking about false accusations of DV and all that stuff, and SA and such, and it's kind of one of these Facebook boomer things you could put up where it gets the attention of men. And the opinion is basically, as Olivia Koenig scores a great try, that people who give false accusations should receive jail time equal to the jail time that the alleged perpetrator would have received. I wonder where people stand on this. What is DV? Domestic violence. Now, I vehemently disagree with it because this is where I go with it. Sorry, basically it's kind of going down a thought train with you. In my mind, the legal system is not perfect, and I think you would then, if you had it be a system of either you're going to jail or I'm going to jail, I don't trust the legal system enough to resolve that correctly all the time. And if you had someone who, let's say the court gets it wrong and they did alleged domestic violence and domestic violence did really happen, and then they go to jail for the sentence worth of domestic violence, that's crazy work. But I was falsely accused during high school of it, and it screwed me up completely. My entire social life collapsed. I didn't go to school for several months, and people who I really liked, frankly, I loved the girl involved. Obviously not after she gave that accusation, but at the time I certainly did. It was very, very difficult to mentally deal with. So I'm also not completely happy with there being no repercussions for a false allegation. So I know where I fall in terms of I don't want it to be they should go to jail for the same amount of time, but it makes me it doesn't quite sit right with me that someone can just level a false accusation and, you know, there's no repercussions for that. So I don't know. Random law drop? Damn, yeah, I don't know if I said that before. On stream. There's way more to that story. Way more to that story than just that. But yeah, it was a transformational experience, that's for sure. And not one, like, easily the toughest period of my life. Easily the toughest period of my life. So Miskiff was the one caught lying, tried to smear her by saying she's racist, and tried to hit on Asmongold while they were together. Anyone with Asmongold at any point, I don't value their opinion. You've never said that before? Well, Tiger Walker would know. What's the score for the girls' match? Roosters and Knights? Roosters 12, Knights 0. Very happy about it. Very happy. That's why you go the civil route, but it takes time. Yeah, but even the civil route, like, it's on a level of damaging personal relationships with other people, it can it can change it forever. Storytime vid, it's not something I really try advertising much. I also know for a fact that there's a lot of people who still believe that I did it. I still, after moving to Australia, so this is back in the Netherlands, I kept getting messages from people about it and stuff. And I've always been a little bit worried that they would find my channel and say, oh, this dude, you know, there were some very serious accusations, let's put it that way, did all these horrible things. When, yeah, obviously not. As I said, I really did love the goal as well, so that made it a lot more difficult to mentally process. I'm not going to tell the full story at halftime. It's not necessarily appropriate to do so, but yeah. Anyway, Raiders have the ball here. Let's see, Tapani with the ball. They're in attacking ball here. They scored, obviously, the first try off a crazy, interchange, where it looked like Dogs had scored a try, then Savage picked it up and went the length of the field. Let's see what they can do in terms of just a solid attacking ball. I think people who claim DV or grape should pay the legal fees and a minimum sentence of 6 months, in my opinion. False allegations do actual damage and defame people. It takes away from real victims. It does. However, you then also have the other side of that coin where, like, already there's an issue of people not coming forward enough. I think, are we still at the point where the majority of cases go unreported? That's what the stats estimate. So we don't want to discourage it even more. We don't want to say to someone, oh, you know, you can come forward, but if the court decides that actually it didn't happen, and they're notoriously hard to prove, then you'll do a minimum sentence of 6 months. I don't think that's a good thing. So I just don't know. I don't know where I stand, and I can't. And I sometimes I use you guys to try and help me form my own opinions. Get your opinions.
Money God 164 you just redeemed changed the background color. I just want milk that tastes like real milk. White color.
Perchance, if you will, a little bit of Canberra milk. Hell yeah. I'm going to be real, I don't think Knights beat Bunnies, but it's probably the closest match this week. I think this one might be the closest match this week, to be honest. I think that this is a properly tight one. One of my closest friends got essayed at a really young age and never got justice for it. Someone goes to prison because of something that happened. I couldn't sit right with it. So I don't know what you mean by the second half of that message. You mean if they went to prison for the accusation, I couldn't sit right with it? I don't think I could really sit right with it either. But then, it's like, if you could somehow have this way of knowing whether it was malicious or not, that's the way to do it. Paddy went for a 40-20 here. It's really close. It's really close. It's a 40-20. It's a 40-20. Wow. That was so close. But he got it done. They're going to challenge that it's not a 40-20. Interesting. They're optimistic. I don't know. It's really difficult because you don't know where it's gone over the line exactly. It was tight. I got to say, our first look, I don't think it went past the 20. How can you judge? I don't know if you can judge that. However, I know someone who has had false accusations and that's horrible, so I really don't know. Yeah. They're going to go inconclusive, surely. Yeah. Oh, I don't have inconclusive as a thing. That's funny. Yeah, it will be challenging, conclusive, retain 40-20. Yeah, there were friendships that I thought would last my entire life that were lost off the back of it. And even, actually, I have a theory. When I came back to Australia, I met a girl in one of my law courses here at uni who I went to school with in the Netherlands. It was the most insane coincidence that we were at school together in the Netherlands and we happened to go to the same uni in the same year doing the exact same course at the exact same time, and we were in the same lecture theatre together. Crazy coincidence. But after that first day, we were like really close on that first day of hanging out, and after that, there's zero interaction with one another. And I think it's because she messaged back to the Netherlands. Oh, Martin Scores here. Martin Scores. Raiders. Hell yeah. This stream's up and down. I'm like talking deeply about my relationships and like, oh, cuz no, Martin scored a try. Yeah. Anyway, I think she messaged back to the Netherlands, where I grew up, and was like, oh, you know, you'll never guess who I met. And whoever she messaged was like, oh no, he did these bad things. So it's still carries its impact today, but anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try and focus back on the game. That wasn't necessarily law that I intended to drop, but I don't know, it felt appropriate to do so in that moment because I was talking about the issue itself. It's why I care about the issue. And I think if it hadn't happened to me, I would have a much clearer mind of like, no, you can't practically put in any countermeasure, but yeah. Yeah, Money God, as I said before, he's just not necessarily the best of players. He comes up with errors in some key moments, and being the son of the coach is always a big thing. So I know a lot of Raiders fans aren't the biggest Jed Stewart enthusiasts. Oh, good, Tiger. See you later. So what a start from Canberra. Look, as I said, that savage try, it was a runaway try, a 3-6 points, but not necessarily reflecting the balance of play. That one was a genuine try. They did heaps good. NRLW Roosters are killing it right now, by the way. 12-0 will be at halftime. Isabel Kelly's just come up with a brilliant try-saving tackle. Kick there from Sanders. Bang. Easy as you like. 12 points to 0 is the scoreline. Mentioned this before, but I'm a victim of DV and SAS. I remember you saying it. As a bloke, I can say that there's a lot that goes unreported just because I never got believed. Lost friends since she was also friends with them. Yeah, that was certainly my issue. It's interesting though. I mean, I wonder, did you say you lost friends because she was also friends with them? Did friends side with you? Because I had some friends side with me, which I to this day like they are my closest friends in the world, and I still talk with them regularly because of how much it meant to me. But in that moment for me, it was really, it was easier to be friends with the girl than be friends with me, because the girl, no matter whether the accusation was right or wrong, the girl didn't really do anything wrong. But I might have done something wrong if the accusation was correct. So they just thought easier not to be friends with them. So I wondered if it might have been the same with you, but the other way around, obviously. I do remember you, KZO, but you had a different name earlier. I just recognized the profile picture. 6 more there for the Raiders. Raiders were on the back foot to start this game. They really were. Dogs were marching up the field, but it's been all green machines since then. Laurie gets it out to find Timbercore. He's through. He's clean through. Oh, he should have got an offload to Jed when he could. But anyway, tackled there by Lockie Galvin. Half-time in the NRLW game. Yeah, no dramas, Money God. Mariota with a good run there. And he gets an offload away. He's having a good year, Arta Mariota. He really is. Horsburgh with the run now. Into the line. Takes a tackle there. A few did, but I knew them before I met her, so they were more inclined to believe I wouldn't make that stuff up. That makes more sense. It's really, yeah, it's just tough. Yeah, the tackle went beyond horizontal. It did. Ennis isn't happy about it, but he's completely incorrect about it. It went beyond horizontal. But I've watched you since you had 900 subs. Thank you. That makes you 1 in 10. Makes you 1 in 10. Has Ennis just said there's nothing wrong with that? It's beyond the horizontal. There's a clear rule, Michael. Dude. Serrato's not happy. I'm sorry. It's the rule. Oh, mate, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, except for the fact that it breaks the laws of rugby league. Might be something wrong with that. Anyway. I think they're going to score again here. I think they're going to make it 18-0. I hope we don't have a day of 3 upsets. That would really, really annoy me. That would really annoy me. I'd be happy with 2 of the games. I wouldn't be happy with the 3rd. All right, Patty now. On to find Tarpany. Sanders now out to find Simi Sasungi. Takes a tackle there. Play there. Savage gets it now to find Sanders. Kicks across field. There's a lot of space out there. Timokor, he doesn't need to go up for it. It lands squarely in the hands of Zach Hosking. He didn't even jump for it. The Dogs didn't contest it. I'll tell you what, they're going to be absolutely fuming, the Dogs fans. It just landed in the hands of Hosking. It's 16-0 kick to come. Yes, to close this out, I'll say what Danny said there. To clarify what I meant, it could never sit right with me if someone went to prison despite something actually happening to them, like SA or DV. Yes, that's where I land as well. I've got these 2 ideas of that absolute truth of, like, you know, we shouldn't have that, but then at the same time, it does feel weird that a malicious false accusation can go unpunished. I need to find somewhere in the middle of that to be my position. But I don't know. But it's an issue with the wider system, right? False accusations go well beyond just domestic violence and stuff like that. So, it can be all sorts of things. I can't believe what we've just seen. He just didn't jump. None of them jumped. None of them jumped. And Zach Hosking lands with a ball in his arms. The man with 13 on his back. I don't know if he's playing lock or seems to be back row there. But anyway. Are you going to quit YouTube after you finish your uni? No. I am not. I'll be honest. It sort of occurred to me a couple of times. I was like... There's been a couple moments where I've thought... I've said my piece... I've had a lot of fun with it, but I think I'm kind of hitting the limits of where I can be anyway. We'll see. But I took a break recently for about a week and a half. I still feel, to be honest, like I need a little bit more of a rest. I still, in that break, I did better than I usually do, but I still did quite a lot of content stuff that happened behind the scenes. Anyway, yeah, it's refreshed me a lot and remotivated me a lot. So I keep doing it, especially the live streams. I don't know what you're referring to there, Dino, unfortunately. It's crazy how as soon as the Dogs get good, they have, quote, the most loyal fans in the comp, but now that they suck again, they have like 3 fans. I don't think anyone sincerely has said that they're the most loyal fans in the comp. I think most people, well, a lot more people certainly say they're the most bandwagony fans in the comp. Most loyal fans in the comp are Tigers and Knights fans, in my opinion. Knights maybe less so now, but certainly back in the day they were. And they remain loyal at that point, so... Leaguie, when you hang up the boots for the Leaguie YouTube channel, I am out there as a replacement. It occurred to me before as well, should I hand over the green suit to someone else? I don't think I would. I think I'm too protective of my own work to do that. But yeah, Rinakama's knocked it on. Horsburgh's there. No, in fact, Rinakama knocked it back, so it's all okay. He's lost it, but Tracy came up with it. Horsburgh was there to recover the ball. Unfortunately for the Raiders, he does not. But no, I think I need to keep giving myself content goals, and certainly my next content goal is to work with the Roosters. I want to do something with the Roosters, certainly, before ever considering stopping. I could not stop now without having worked with the Roosters in some capacity. Matt says, I'm home now, curled up in bed with a nice hot coffee, comfy clothes, and antidepressants. Low-key kind of needed. Low-key kind of needed. I'm sure. Weeks with a run there. So, we were at the 15-minute mark to go in the first half of the last game, and it was 12 points to nil. I said, very interesting next 15 minutes coming up. Slightly less interesting next 15 minutes coming up in this one, certainly. But if Dogs can get it to 18 to 12 at halftime, as opposed to Canberra making it 24-0, big difference. Big difference. Lorenzo, you're the one that really talks about Latvia a lot, right? I don't know if you know this, but I've been to Latvia. I can't remember if it's you or someone else that talks about Latvia, but I think only you could bring that level of energy. Rinakama there tackled brilliantly in goal by Xavier Savage. Savage was absolutely there at a rate of knots. Rinakama's had a tough start to this game, that's for sure. The Society of Saint Pius X ordained 4 bishops without the Pope's approval and excommunicated themselves, and they're now claiming they're holding true to the Church, but doesn't accept Vatican II. Right. They can do their thing. I don't really know enough about it to have an opinion. That ball does bounce 10, and they get a result there, the Dogs, because it goes over the sideline. Perfect work there from the Bulldogs. What you do in Latvia? Visit. It was quite fun. Mate, please can you help me understand this sport? How does the best attack not score a try, and how does one of the better defenses leak like a sieve? It's what makes the NRL so entertaining. Week to week, you truly can't predict what's going to go on, what's going to happen. We do have quite a momentum-based game nowadays, so certainly that can help. It can help teams with a good attack, reinforce that. But also at the same time, if a team that traditionally doesn't have as good an attack gets a bit of a roll on, it can make them have a result that normally you wouldn't necessarily expect from them. So, yeah. Every time you say Rinakama, I keep thinking you say Reddit Karma. That goes to show how Reddit coded me and you are, so it does. Penalty to the Dogs there. Oh. What are they playing at the stadium? I don't know. I just heard, no, it's that I'm Losing It song. But I heard like a sound in the background, and it sounded like the opening to the Dogs theme song. And I thought I'd accidentally started playing the Dogs theme song. Wow, my chair is just sunk. Go back like 2 minutes and you'll see me be like significantly higher up in the screen. That's so funny. It sinks really slowly, and like I only really notice once I hit the bottom. Currently playing Simpsons Hit and Run while listening to you. Haven't played it since I was 10. Genuinely the best PS2 game out there. You ain't gonna get me disagreeing. It's an absolute banger of a game. Banger of a game since it's in run. Kicking behind there from Crichton. Burton's there. Beats him, and it beats Rinakama. Oh. Gee, Stephen Crichton yelling at his men there. Screaming at his outside men. He's not happy there at all. Look at that. Laying into Matty Burton and Rinakama. It was a good play. Just bounced away from Burton in the end, and then he ended up contacting Rinakama. From that point, you would have thought Burton there, but he pulls out. Rinakama can't get it either. Jeez. Critter's absolutely filthy, yeah. My sense not suggesting it, but how much would it change the sport if the conceding team received the ball from the restart? It's not silly, actually. That was a big topic of conversation at the start of the year. A lot of rugby league traditionalists, myself included, said you're just changing the fabric of the game too much. I know we've tried it before, and we did it at the Nines competitions. I wonder if you were building if you're building the sport again from scratch, I wonder if you might do that. It kind of sounds logical, right? That if you score, you should receive. The other team should receive an advantage to balance that out. But I know that there's a lot of teams that actually think it's an advantage to kick off because you get to pin the opposition down at their end. And also, the other thing I don't like about it is that it would really limit comebacks at the end of a game, where you have teams who, let's say they need 3 tries in the last 5 minutes or whatever. Let's say 10 minutes. Obviously, because they keep getting the ball back after scoring, it allows them to come back. Whereas if they had to then, after scoring, defend a set and then recover the ball and go again, it really makes it a lot more difficult to come back, and I don't like that so much. So, yeah. See how far Leaguie is sunk? So true, actually. That's a great point. That's a great point. I don't think I've seen Stephen Crichton yell like that before. Sanders with a kick high in the air. So Raiders, they certainly get away with one there. Rinakama's knocked on again. He's having an awful night. He's having a really awful night. I'm going to be honest. I know that we saw Savelio Tamale get hooked a couple weeks ago for the Raiders. I'm looking at the bench. They haven't got an outside back on the bench. They haven't. They've got Jacob Preston in that final spot. I wonder at what point Jethro gets the hook. He's not far away. If they have anyone that can fill that role, he is not far away. Penalty Raiders as well there for a scrum infringement shot clock. If they can take the 2 here, they absolutely should. Are they allowed to? I don't think they're allowed to. Definitely 2. Yep. Yeah, they're going to go 2. That's the right call. That's the right call. That's a huge moment there. Huge little exchange. It's now up to 4 scores for the Dogs to come back into this. They let one go at the other end of the field. Rinakama comes up with a poor knock on, and then they give away a shot clock violation. Damn. Where's that from, Money God? Our battle will be legendary. I've heard that line before. I've absolutely heard that line before. When does Strato hook him? Yeah, it's close. It's close. You're telling me you have an NRL club where you have players named Jethro Rinakama and Lipoi Hopoi, unironically. Lipoi Hopoi is like that's different levels to Jethro Rinakama. I know Jethro is, you know, a little bit of a strange name, but Lipoi Hopoi is outstanding. It's so good. Kung Fu Panda, that makes sense. Yes, that would be where I've heard it. Thoughts on Spain versus Belgium? I did not watch the game. They got away with a few late winners, Spain. I reckon winner of France and Spain wins the tournament. Really enjoyed your argument about the restarts and how it encourages comebacks. In Union, it's the same. If you score, you receive the kickoff. But almost every team kicks the ball back in 1 to 2 tackles. Yeah, so obviously it holds less weight then. I'm glad you enjoyed it, though. Thank you very much. Yeah, as I say, it was a real talking point at the start of the season, so those talking points are still a bit fresh in the memory, but I don't think it'll change for a while. 20-0. This is shaping up like the last game, where the team that were outsiders they're just quietly 20-0 ahead. They just are. Any more points before half time, and I don't know if they're catching them. Thoughts on Paul Ocon Engelster to Köln? Don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. Thoughts on Haaland? One of the greatest strikers to have ever played the game. And will only get better, in my opinion, still. It's such a shame he plays for Manchester City, though, in my mind. Like, when he was at Dortmund, I could love him. Now he's at City. No. Alright, run there. Oh, for Timoko, and it's been knocked on there by Jed Stewart. I thought he was playing on for a second, the way that he kept running there. It was, yeah, he overran it slightly, but admittedly the pass wasn't exactly on the money either. Haaland versus Mbappe in the final, please, please, please. That would be very, very cool. Would be very cool. I mean, I think it would be very cool purely because England aren't there. What if it's like that game last year where Dogs scored like 32 points, I believe, in the second half? I think the halftime score of that game was also 20-0 Raiders, from memory. So, you know, I guess it's never over. It's not over till it's over. I want to have a look at that. I'm looking at the draw from last season. Yeah, you're bang on, and I'm bang on. They scored 32 points in the second half after being down 20-0. In Union, they tried a 9-point try for tries scored from your own half to encourage running rugby. I share the same views as you. Can people stop messing about with perfectly legal game that's 150 years old? Yeah. Yeah. I see less of a need maybe for Union to change the rules than League. I think League, you know, we're obviously trying to get to being one of the major global sports, the way rugby union is. And so we're trying to tinker with the product to make it more appealing. And I think, honestly, you can't deny that the numbers show that the changes Peter Valenis and Adrian Abdo made were good for the game, certainly in their viewership. But I kind of want to leave it as it is, like, now. Maybe even go back to last year's rules, although I think we kind of have a little bit towards the back end of this season anyway. I see no need to tinker with it from this point. Oh, Papali'i was through a hole there, but it's called forward. Damn. Don't worry, if England make the World Cup final, they'll lose 4-0. I'd still massively rather them not get there. I would be so nervous if England made the World Cup final. I'd hate that. I'd really hate that. This ain't the 2025 Dogs. It also ain't the 2025 Raiders. So, yeah. Haaland or Harambe, which one's better for society? That's a really interesting question. I mean, I don't know if... I can't say that. Harambe is the answer. Harambe is the answer. I was going to go with a really roundabout way of getting to that, but Harambe is the answer. To make it clear, it wasn't going to be racial at all. That's not where I was going with it. But yeah, that was such a. It's one of my favorite aspects of internet meme culture. That's the Harambe as a concept. Sorry, it wasn't penalty. It was 6 again. The Harambe as a concept, just this gorilla who died, who was shot, has like, it was 10 years ago. Still to this day, we're talking about this gorilla in this random zoo that got shot because of internet meme culture. Yeah. World Cup's been a training run for France so far. League's ahead of everyone else. They are, like, on paper, their roster's insanely good. I think Spain are very, very good as well. And that's why I believe that whoever wins Spain versus France will win the World Cup. But, yeah, I look at the other side of the draw and it just looks so much easier. Tupou scoring a hat-trick would be more beneficial to society. Tonight, I'm not a betting man, and I do not encourage betting at all, as Dogs come up with a poor knock-on. But Daniel Tupou, anytime try scorer, is actually the easiest bet you could ever make tonight. It is. That's a poor error for Connor Tracy. It's a very poor error. I was at Dogs versus Canberra earlier this season here. It was a dreadful game. It was so wet. Pouring rain. Tracy came up with a few really good moments in that game. Not so good in this one. I really don't want to back England or a team with the world's best striker, but I also don't want France, Spain, or Argentina winning. Spain should have done the right thing and laid down for Belgium. I mean, backing a team with the world's best striker is... like, he's not their only good player. Of course not. They've got very good midfielders as well, but like, they're certainly underdogs. Laurie with a good run there. Gets a pass away to find Patty. Argentina versus Spain in the World Cup final would be very cool. Alright, in the hands of Weeks. Now, Sasangi kicked through, chased through by Savage, but is not there. Don't get me wrong, I'd much rather like Norway versus Spain or something. Or Switzerland, yep. But anyway. Watson just says, so moist. Shout out Watson. Shout out Watson. Kicking behind there, yeah, from Sasangi on the replay, and it was beautiful work there from him, the big center / back rower / 5'8", showing a bit of his half skill set there, that's for sure. Alright, they go short there. Through Matty Burton. Knocked back there by the Raiders, but Salmon recovers it for the Dogs. And there's a whistle of penalty there to the Raiders. Penalty Raiders. There's going to be boos ringing out there. Offside, Jacob Preston. Or Karaz was. Yeah, Karaz was actually certainly offside. Ryukin is not happy, understandably. Bring back the beard. Nah, bro. Nah, ain't happening. What do you think about Keon to Dragons and Payne filling in for him? Payne going to South makes me deeply unhappy. They're going for 2 again, really. Soak up some of the clock. I'd have gone for the try there, but anyway. Yeah, Payne going to South. I truly have done my best not to think about that as a signing. It makes me so sad that he's going there, and it makes me very scared that he's going there, to be honest. But then you've got Keon to the Dragons, and I think that's a really astute signing. Their young forwards are the best in the comp. They can build something from that. For the first time in about 6 to 8 years, I think the Dragons have something to build around. And it is that young forward pack. Keon being there, he'll be a veteran forward by that point. very, very respected, particularly among the young Pacific boys in that forward pack, likes of Halangahu, Loco Pacifici, Tonga. Like, they will have a lot of admiration for Keon. Brilliant signing. And it's just, very high quality. So Canberra put another 2 points on the board. Again, surprised that they went for goal there, not for the try. But I guess with that amount of time left on the clock, he soaked up quite a bit of it. There's only a minute 13 left. They'll get the ball back and can see out the half with the Dogs not getting any possession. It's going to be Dogs 0 at half time. Canberra at least 22. Why the F have we in England made a load of sports just for the world to become better than us? I genuinely think that the English soccer team are the most underachieving sports team of any sport. When you look at the demographics of England, the investment into soccer or football over there, the players that you've had in the past, like the era where you had Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes, and the excuse is, they're all too good, they can't work together. Like, bro, crazy. Haas is more punchy than Keon, but he gets less post-contact push meters, I find. So it's about getting tackle breaks more than covering ground. Haas is the greatest front rower ever, and it annoys me that it's signing for South. That's basically the long and short of it for me. All right, Patty. On now to find Hosking. Now Josh Papali'i. They're not going to go for 2 there. Offload away. Gets knocked on by Josh Curran. Gets knocked on by Owen Paddy. Offside position there is Hosking. It's an absolute rugby league mess. 22-0 at half time. Mate, what? This is like that last game. That one that we just watched, basically, which was 24-0 at half time. Sharks over the Dolphins. It's 22-0 to the away team at half time. I tipped today every one of the home teams to win. I'm not having a good day. I'm not having a good rugby league day by any definition of the phrase. No, bruh, I don't know ball.
This game is fundamentally stupid.
Crazy. As a Pom, I have so much hatred of that early 2010s England side. There was so much talent there, and we didn't do a thing. Was it early 2010s? Well, yeah. I guess 2010 World Cup specifically, but a lot of those guys, their peak was sort of just before that. But yeah, I know what you're referring to, and absolutely. The only NRL games that matter are Roosters versus Eels and Knights versus Broncos. I have a sharp pain in my heart game. I love that. I tip Sharks, Dogs, and Eels. Tipping Eels is kind of crazy. Everyone shades the Roosters for throwing money at all the good players, but dare I say the Rabbitohs have been worse in the last few years. Here's a fact that I like throwing up in moments like this. The Roosters have more players in their 19 that they have playing in each game that debuted at the club than Penrith do. Kind of crazy when you look at the catchment area that Penrith have. Kind of crazy. I didn't just move, by the way. I moved myself. Thoughts on Harry Kane playing golf with Jonah Beneda? Yeah, he was picking his words carefully. I certainly would have declined that offer, but I can understand why he wanted to do it. Indian cricket team, they have 1 billion crazy cricket fans and regularly get beaten by a country of 25 million where cricket is sport number 3. Good point.
The background color. Gale, Wont Head Start 21 to 12 and the youngest Swindon in Onion Tegan Frank Ries.
The Australian-Texas speech did not do a very good job there of pronouncing the Dutch word for France, which is Frankrijk. But Frank Ries, so we'll go with that. Oh, Knights have scored in the NRLW. God damn it. Miniag wants to know what you think about Nintendo shutting down Mario Kart World Tour. Mario Kart World Tour was maybe one of the most disappointing things that I've ever experienced in my life. The hype around Mario Kart coming to mobile was crazy. It was such a big thing. It was all anyone was talking about at my high school. And then it turns out to be this weird kind of scammy thing where it basically auto drives for itself. But more to the point, you're racing against people who seem to be other real players who have all of these in-game boosts that you need to pay for, but they're actually AI. Very weird. Very scammy. I didn't like it. The fact that it's being shut down doesn't surprise me as well, because I don't think really anyone wanted to play that game, unfortunately, for Nintendo. I do, however, love Mario Kart, and in my in where I live on the ANU campus, I live in a group of buildings that are sort of grouped by 4. And in my group of 4 buildings, I'm the best Mario Kart player of anyone, of all of them. We have a Mario Kart tournament that happens every week. I'm just by far and away the best that's there. So, I do enjoy playing. Legman, we should have a community Mario Kart match. Can you play it multiplayer like that? Like online? Just noticed something weird. This is going to have absolutely zero interest to any of you. But I'm looking at the Roosters NRLW like match page on NRL.com. I clicked on Shorten Burton, number 14. On the match page on NRL.com, mouth is open, smiling. If you click on her, though, it takes you to the Roosters page, and the photo of her is mouth closed. Crazy news. So 12-6 with 20 minutes to go in the NRLW game. I might just kind of talk about that at halftime, honestly, because I'm very interested by it. The 2010 World Cup, we had Gerard, Lampard, Rooney, Heskey, where we scraped out of a group with Algeria and Slovenia. I don't know if Heskey belongs at that level. As much as I love old school KSI, I don't know if Heskey is, but yeah. I don't know injuries that England had at that point, but you would have had Ferdinand, you would have had Terry, very much in the prime of their careers. Was the goalie Joe Hart back then? What's her name? Shorten Burton. Can I have a shout out? Sure, Jacko. Shout out, Jacko. England's winning the World Cup. I don't care. I certainly care. And I certainly hope they don't. That Savage try is one of my favourite things I've ever seen, genuinely. That's so funny. I wanted Belgium to win, but now I want Haaland to score a hat-trick. Well, Belgium are weird. Belgium are very much a team that had a golden generation and did nothing with it. Probably maybe the best example of it. They were number 1 in the world at one point and just achieved nothing. Courtois, De Bruyne, Hazard, Alderweireld, Kompany, Jan Vertonghen, Axel Witsel, Romelu Lukaku. The players that they had were way, way better than they had any right to be. Arsenal won the Prem. What's stopping England from winning it all? Yeah, again, they can do it. I just really don't want them to do it. Admittedly, though, I would say that one thing that's stopping England from winning it all is that, the quality of other teams that are also there. Did Bro Sticky and Axel Witsel? I mean, he's not as good as those other players, but he was there. It's pretty good. I'll take no Heskey slander. Newcastle Jets legend. Love it. Thoughts on Wonderwall? Look, I'm an Oasis fan. I'm an Oasis fan. Tom Yeager just put out a brilliant video, by the way. So, the Roosters put out a video where they had all the members of the 300 club, players who have played 300 games at the Roosters, getting on saying, Toopsy, 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 how you going? Look what Tommy's done here. This is great.
Daniel, Toopsy.
Oh, the light is...
The big 300, mate. 300 NRL games for the Sydney Roosters. I'm not 300 games, sure, mate, but congratulations on the achievement.
He's included himself on it. The Roosters commented as well. I don't think the Roosters have commented on anything I've done. Not fair. Not fair. Do you go for a A-League team? Not really, no. I really liked Sydney. Well, I didn't really like. I liked Sydney FC back in the day. They would have been my team, but they signed Jack Rodwell, and I can't support a team that signed Jack Rodwell, unfortunately. So, yeah. Leaguie didn't swear. Says Leaguie did not swear today. I will say, is that? I thought Leaguie didn't swear. Comments. No, there's Leaguie did swear and did Leaguie swear. Right. I got really confused there for a second. Well, I haven't sworn yet. We'll see. Feels like NRL's reverted back to the barely watchable suffer the first 10 rounds pre-origin. 6 against penalties, loading up one way. One team comfortably leading by half time and the game effectively over. Well, of the last 2 games, sure. I don't know if that's true though. It's a small sample size. The halftime score of last night's game was 14-6. All 3 games this round have been hot garbage. Yeah. Sure, in terms of you want close games, sure, definitely. But, you know, I think that's largely because of the teams involved. I think Dolphins just absolutely failing to show up. I don't want to discredit the Sharks for putting in a brilliant performance. Emile Heskey scored more Prem goals than Drogba and CR7, by the way. Okay, a slight caveat there. Slight caveat. A little bit of a difference. In the sense of he played a lot more in the Premier League, I'm going to assume, than the 2 of them. But sure. All I know is Emile Heskey is the Chuck Norris of football, and he got so many times to easily withdraw the way he dribbles down the sideline and looks like to score, but then steps over, but falls over and dismisses the goal. He'd be the forever greatest with his 2 left feet. That's why we watch him like every week. Defenders get weak, but the breezes fast with ease. Jeez, yeah, he's a messiah, a true patriot for the country. Yeah, he's taking us higher. You don't know what you're messing with. This Heskey kid is the best there is. He takes a shot and he hits the left, he still misses. You don't know what you're messing with. This Heskey kid is the best there is. He takes his shot and he hits the left, he still misses. Heskey. You think that you can bend it like Beckham, but can you bend it like Heskey, the way you shoot but curl it around and end up in Rosie or Rosette? And don't ever get me started on his head when it looks like down and gives those eyes. You know, it's Heskey time. I'm not going to sing the rest of it because it gets crazy from that point onwards. But as I said, I'm an OG KSI fan. Okay? We're calling your dad today? Yes, we're calling my dad today. I think a lot of my audience don't know that reference because you're too young. But that's OG KSI stuff. That's OG KSI. What's going on? What 14 hours of GTA does to your brain? Look, didn't help. Definitely didn't help me playing GTA M1 sitting on Monday. I don't know if I said this, but it's funny. I was really like fine throughout that stream. Actually, at the end, I was like, I can definitely go on. I can keep playing, do the side missions and stuff. But I stayed up a little bit, watched some Disney Plus, went to bed, didn't set an alarm. I slept for 15 hours. I slept for 15 rugby league hours. Crazy work. It certainly took me out. Okay, after the KSI reference, I will accept Heskey slander. Good. That is the... I don't think I watched a single game that Emile Heskey ever played, but that is the sole basis upon which I'm slandering him. Because everything I know about Emile Heskey comes from KSI. I don't know, because I'm too old and never liked KSI. I did back in the day. I don't so much now, unfortunately, but I certainly did back in the day. I'm looking at the Instagram comment sections of the Dolphins post. Losing the game. Close game, lads. Nearly had him. If you ain't going to follow our team in the hard times, don't follow them during the good times. We're selling this, boys. Bring on the rest of the season. That's nice. No race, stone, no Dolphins. Simple as that. That I like. That's good stuff. Oh, it's a reference how popular was KSI before COVID. I only found out about him in 2022 on TikTok. He was very popular before COVID. He was one of the biggest British YouTubers. And certainly one of the most influential from back in the day. Yeah, he was great. Him and the Sidemen. Huge before COVID. I think probably still bigger now. But again, I said this yesterday. Although I'm very much part of that generation, I think we grew older and they didn't grow older. They still make content kind of targeted at kids. And so I just, yeah. This NRLW game shaping out to be really, really good. It's 12-6. There's 13 minutes left. I think they've just forced an error there, maybe? No, she held it well there, the Knights fullback. I was watching PewDiePie and Ninja back then. That's completely fine. I was not. I don't think I've ever watched a PewDiePie video. I've definitely never watched a Ninja video. But yeah. Can you make a rap for Coco? When I was a kid, I wanted to write a song for Coco. I wrote like 4 lines and then gave up, unfortunately. Coco is my dog, by the way. For those that don't know.
That's why you get the big bucks, baby.
Thank you very much.
Thoughts on Sherry going this dorm all trying to get Luai because Tigers gave Luai an early release.
Yeah, it's I'll start with Sherrod Storm, astute signing. I said this yesterday. I think he's the kind of player who needs a change of scenery, and he's that kind of guy who we often see go to the Melbourne Storm and have great success under Craig Bellamy. We're seeing, granted, like in recent years, that's happened a little bit less. I don't know if maybe Bellamy's losing his touch a little bit towards the back end of his coaching career. Far from me to, doubt the great man, but anyway. We'll see. I think it's a really good pickup for them. They need centres desperately. I'm curious as to what it means for Joe Chan and Jack Howarth. Obviously, Meaney's leaving, so there's a like-for-like replacement there. Not so much in goal kicking, but yeah. Then on the other one with Luai. Yeah, so Parramatta have clearly shown that they... sure.
Lorenzo Theraborn just redeemed Pepsi Max Sip.
They've clearly shown they're willing to sign halves for 1 year. If they think it can help them in that one season. I think Luai would help the next season. Moses is coming to the end of his career. I think it would be a good opportunity. They back themselves to be better for next year. It would be a good chance for them to maybe have a go at the top 8 with a halves pairing of Moses and Luai. I think that they could very much get up there. Spencer Leniu was linked with a leave to Parramatta as well. They can pick up Leniu and Luai. Very good pickups. You obviously got Ionki, Pensini, getting a year older, a year more experience. Same with Talon De Silva. So, a couple of things that I kind of like there at Parramatta. All right, here we go. Lampard has won 4 Prems, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, a UCL Prem Player of the Season, has scored more Premier League goals than Henry from midfield, and people have the gall to say he's overrated. I think a lot of people who say he's overrated didn't really watch his playing career very much. 11 minutes left. Newcastle have just received a penalty from right in front of the Roosters line there. There's a kick-off to the second half if you do want to sync up with me. I did have to refresh my stream there a little bit. So if that was not in sync from before, my bad. Might need to reset that one. If Sherry gets his behaviour right and is well coached, he could be in New South Wales chat. Does he have a big behavioural issue at the moment? The Storm wanted to sign a bloke on a contract to another club. I mean, whatever. It doesn't seem to be anything illegal. Gail Broughton just posted a picture of herself twerking in the hospital gown. Kidding. No. I have too much respect for that. Gotta be a performative... Gotta laugh as a performative male on the internet. I can't be doing that. Absolutely not. How do you live in Canberra? Why don't you go for Raiders? You go for Roosters? Good question, Kate. So I moved to Canberra to study, but I didn't grow up here. My dad was a Sydney Roosters fan. I was born in Sydney. That's the reason why I'm a Roosters fan. It's really because of my dad. But I do have a soft spot for the Raiders, having moved here for uni, for sure. Good run there from Stephen Crichton. It's done well. It's important that they get the first points of the second half, I think, in my opinion. Oh, Mario!
That's why you get the big bucks, baby. That's why you get the big bucks.
If Para pick up Jerome, it will just to 1 year. Chris Sandell could be anything.
Could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. And I think that's something that makes it more likely as well, is that I don't know if there's a guy coming through there at jersey number 6 that is their next man. I don't know if Josh Papali is their next big 5'8". I think he's a good fill-in player at 1 and 6, but I don't know if I'd make him the starting 6. Thoughts on Lily J AI charity scam? I do not know who that is or what she did. Please explain. How did your dad become a Roosters fan? He grew up in St George territory, and in the 1975 grand final between St George and Easts, he had no interest in rugby league, but he wanted to be different. And so he said, I'm going to support Eastern Suburbs. And he stuck to it for 50 years. 50 years. Jeez, they're set very deep there, the Dogs. Very, very deep. Knights have knocked on an attack there against the Roosters. 8.5 minutes left. 12-6 is the score. All right, Hayward now. To go to the right-hand side, Galvin. Gets it on to find Leo Thompson. Takes a tackle there. Big UEFA update. Fodor Costanza just secured Thomas Muller in the transfer window. What? What the hell? I love that. That's so funny. Galvin dummies. Runs himself. 2 tackles left here. My favorite streamer because you read the chat. I try to read the chat, Kate. I try to. Thank you. I'm glad you say that. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Anyway, Trumpet and Anthony Albanese collabed on Instagram. That's even more important than Gail Broughton posting herself twerking in a hospital gown. Kick over the top from Christian Crichton, Stephen Crichton, and Rinna Karma. I tell you what, he had a really, really tough first half, but he comes up with a try there. Good aerial contest, and the Dogs finally are on the board. They needed that. They really, really needed that. It was a good kick from Stephen Crichton. Just out-jumped Xavier Savage, unfortunately, for the Raiders winger. It comes down with it. Tough kick to convert here. They do need to be going up in sixes if they're going to come back into it. But we'll see what they can do here. That's the perfect start to this half. That's exactly what they needed to do. Roosters goals are going to lose? I hope not. We are winning by 6 with 7 minutes to go. I really, really find the Roosters team so likable. And I guess it's easy to like us because we win all the time. So when you're a fan of our club, obviously. But I love the players. They try so hard. She uses AI to promote a charity helping kids in Uganda, but the charity isn't legit in any nation and used AI children at buildings as proof. That's insane. Is this person someone with a public profile? If so, like, her reputation is gone, surely. Your dad's friends who chose to support St. George are probably regretting their decision right now. Well, they were, you know, locals in the St. George area, so it kind of made sense. But I often think, like, you know, I'm glad that my dad had that kind of rebellious or whatever you want to call it, streak in him. Because if he'd just been like, oh yeah, my friends all support the Dragons, I live in Dragons territory, I'll just support the Dragons, my life would have been very different. My life would have been very, 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 very different. Wear the sunglasses? I only wear them when someone on Twitch redeems wear the speed dealer sunnies. Kick there from Crichton. It's across the face, unfortunately. So it says 22 points to 4. You should start praying to your dad wanting to be different. It certainly helped me out. Certainly did. You put the chat on the right of your screen, so when you look left, it looks like you're reading. The chat in the chat from the bottom right of the screen. At this point, when I do it like this, it is good. When I do it like this, it's not good. But this is kind of the only way that I can do it. My monitor is there, and my monitor is has the chat on it. There's also a chat there, but it's a little bit harder to read. So, did you watch footy in the Netherlands? Absolutely. Yeah. It was... I pretty much would watch every game of every round over there. Loved it. That's how I stayed very much in touch with Australia and Australian culture. It's through rugby league. It's why I love rugby league so much. Very public. She's also a grifter who uses Islam to bash on Christian beliefs. Jeez, well, I don't know. I mean, that's going out with a Hail Mary. I don't know if she thinks that she's going to be able to recover it from there, but if the situation is as you've presented it, you don't come back from that. You don't come back from that. Damn. Or, you know, when you get pink eye and bait those of us with kids making questionable choices to buy said kid a Sunderland jersey. Yes, true, Egg. I did do that with the Speed Dealer Sunnies. I do feel bad that my eyes weren't as bad as they were at the start of the day when I took them off at that point. I was a bit surprised even then when I took them off. But there's one of the AI videos. I think it's the second one. If you look at that, my eyes are like really, really bad in that video. To start with, so yeah. Where'd you go in New Zealand, Kate? Sounds cool. I've never been to New Zealand, so 5.5 minutes left in the NRLW game. Roosters still leading by 6. Let's go. It's a big game as well versus Newcastle. They're a good side. Alright, good run there from Horsburgh's coming off, in fact, so Strange is going to come on. It was a good run from Weeks. Sanders to put it high up in the air. So I wonder what role... I imagine Strange will hit 5'8". Jeez. What a brilliant tackle there from Noah Martin. Horsburgh's off for Strange. So, okay, let's think about this. I think Strange moves to 5'8". Laurie moves to lock. And then that allows you to have that shift in the middle. 6 more there for the Dogs. Next points are pretty important. I mean, pretty much at every point, the next points are important. But I get this point especially. 22-10, they'll have their tails up. They'll be ready to go. 26 or 28-4, very much the opposite. Leaguie, do you think Storm will lose tomorrow? No. Got a sneaking feeling, to be honest. A little sneaking feeling about the Titans in that one. I feel that they can pull off something, but I think the Storm are going to be so desperate that really they shouldn't. Knights are just successfully challenged there. Game is well and truly on. On the last hit, Hayward gets it out to find Lockie Galvin, puts it up in the air. Karaz is chasing through. There's space out there. Karaz taps it back. It's still in the hands of the Dogs through Jamin Salmon, but it's going to be wrapped up completely. Good job there, Raiders. Do you think Laurie coaches next year? No, he won't coach next year. He'll step down. I'm surprised that it hasn't been made official already, to be honest. But he'll definitely, like, when you hear him talking, he's going to step down. Roosters score prediction? 28-12 Roosters. Do you think Dolphins could be the team to break the 50-point theory and make it to the grand final? I think they can easily. It's so... You need to win the comp, not just make the grand final. But, yeah, I was just saying this earlier. Like, whether they've conceded 50 points twice, in fact, throughout the season or not, they've got the side to do it. They've got, on paper, I think, the third best team in the competition. They look really, really good. Well, Lily J, she's loved by Muslims because she's a white convert, so I think she'll still have a platform for that sole reason. Yeah, but I mean, they've got moral compasses. I think there'll be a lot of people who... Anyone who really knows about that shouldn't, keep supporting her. Do you think Isabel Kelly can win Dally M this year after she was robbed last year? I didn't actually watch the first game that the Roosters NRLW team played, which is crazy for me. So I don't know how well she played in that game. But she's that good. Absolutely she can. Absolutely she can. I think Tamika Upton is just tough to beat, though. And I think Taryn Aiken will take a lot of points off her as well. To me, Taryn Aiken's the best women's player in the world. Alright, half an hour left in this one. Good kick there from Stephen Crichton. Right for the corner. Rinakam, I think, has knocked that one on. Other way, yeah. It's knocked on by Dogs or back off Raiders, and it's called on by the Dogs. W Roosters Lapper. If I was LARPing as a fan of a club, the Roosters would not be the pick. Would not be the pick. Absolutely not. Anyway, run there from Simi Sasangi. They're just building a little bit here, the Doggies. 10 minutes already gone in this second half, but they've got one try. It's a good start. Went to high school with Taryn Aiken. Damn. That's cool. In Central Coast? Or was that up in Queensland? It must have been up in Queensland. Unless she was born in the Central Coast. Who won Women's Origin? Blues. 3-0. Which I called, by the way, at the start. I feel I didn't get enough credit for that. Some people were like, no, you didn't call it. And I'm like, yes, I did call it. Absolutely, I called it. Kick there from the Raiders on the last... Is that a 40-20 again? Has he done that again? On the last, to hit a 40-20 is crazy, and he's got that angle brilliant. Owen Paddy's 40-20 kicking game is crazy. It's so good. He went one way, back the other. My goodness. How good is that? Knights have scored. Oh, no. Knights have scored. They've got a kick to level it up. I completely missed that as I was looking at the 40-20. Oh, no. Oh, no. It was dip out to Vetti Welsh, and then they just, numbers for the corner. Look, it's a really tough kick to get. Really tough kick to get. Are you sure it's a 40-20? Yeah, and it's a try to Zach Hosking. And honestly, that might be the try that wins the game. Just as the Dogs were getting a little bit of momentum, rugby league's about moments, and Owen Paddy turns it around on a dime, hits a 40-20, and they score immediately. That is such a big moment. Damn. Great work from Owen Paddy. That's what you need. And Hosking, what an effort there. Just a simple crash play, really. Got away from one. He's such a good player, Zach Hosking. What was more ironic was seeing all the Telstra ads talking about keeping Australia connected during Origin while they were still having outage issues. Yeah, I saw that. All right, I'll briefly commentate the NRLW because there's 2 minutes left in it and Kira Deb has a kick. It's 12-10 from the sideline to level it up. I love Kira Deb, but I really, really wanted to miss. Hits it. She's missed. It's so close, but she's missed. So they need 2 points in the last minute 49. What a kick from Owen Paddy. It'll be 28-4 now. Back to Dogs eating 4 converted tries to just level it up. That's what I mean. I think that try wins the game. I really do. Who's leading the Dally M? I think it's well, definitely has gone behind closed doors now. I don't know who was leading it. Tedesco won the Dally M last year, and I just take enough pride out of that I don't really mind. Sanders converts. Leaguie commentating, but it's also very biased. Well, when the Roosters play, yeah, of course. It's a shame, as I say, because I really like Kira Dib. She used to play for the Roosters in the early days of the NRLW. I think she's outstanding. But yeah, against us, no, obviously not. Cleary will win at 100%. He was my tip at the start of the year, and yeah, I won't change from him at that point. Do you think Raiders are hot and cold? For sure. Clearly, it's proven by this game. They're absolutely killing it against the side that they lost to at the start of the year in Canberra. Sorry, I've just been hit with an absolute wave of fatigue there. My God. And they, are sitting in the lower half of the lower 8. Lower 9, in fact. So, I wanted to sleep a really long time last night. I was so tired. I was going off like an hour of sleep. I only slept for 8 hours and it really annoyed me. I think I'm struggling with a bit of that. But anyway, we've got the Roosters up next. That'll keep me certainly awake. I'll just go to sleep straight away after the stream. Strange stepping around. He's doing very well there. Not looking like he's, fatigued from Origin whatsoever there. That's insane aura for Teddy, missing out on the Dally M by 1 point and then winning by a landslide the next year. It really was. They've got it here. Sanders gets an offload back in field. Hosking for 3! Hosking's got 3! Zach Hosking, 3 of the best. He's made them pay. And that completes a wonderful hat-trick. Zach Hoss King, bro. King. That's my king. Forget King Charles Hoss King. That's the one that I'm after. Kick there from Sanders. How about it? The tap back. In fact, it came off the boot of Savage. Sanders got it. Was it Sanders or Paddy who got it? It was Paddy who got it. I thought it was Sanders who got it. Roosters have won in the NRLW. Hell yes. That was tight. Very tight. But we got it done. Who would have had Hosking for a hat-trick in this game, by the way? Crazy work. That's so cool. Yeah, game's over. Owen Paddy is such, he's really come into his own this year. I did at the start of the year, a breakout player for every team. I can't remember who I said for Canberra. Raider Grand Final this year. I don't know if they can still make it. Satkowski has scored 3 kills. No, we ain't tolerating that anymore. We ain't tolerating that anymore. Damn. I tipped Raiders, did you? No, I tipped Bulldogs for sure. Absolutely, unashamedly tipped the Bulldogs to win this one. I did say I had a bit of a feeling about Raiders, but not anywhere near to this level. Not a chance. I just hope we don't see 3 massive upsets today. Because that would be an unmitigated disaster for myself. I will be real with you. Wowzers. We've still got 24 and a half minutes to go. They're winning by 30 points. They're winning by 30 points, mate. So what's the ladder looking like at this moment in time for Dogs? They're 7 and 8. They'll be 7 and 9 after this. You need to be 13 and 11 to have any chance of making the 8. So they'll be looking at needing to win 6 and losing 2 of their next 8 games. That correct? Yeah, that's correct. Oh, what's their draw? They've got Tigers, Warriors, Storm, Roosters, Souths, Panthers, Broncos. I don't know if they can do that. Only 2 losses in all of that. They'll lose to Panthers. You think they'll probably lose to Roosters in Allianz, lose to Storm in Melbourne, lose to Warriors at Accor. Those games will determine it. That's for sure, but it's going to be very tricky for them to win all of those. Oh yeah, I can now focus completely on this game now that the Roosters goals are done. Are the Raiders stealing the Viking row now? I don't know. They stole the Viking clap from Iceland. They might steal the Viking row from Norway as well. But 3 upsets will be great for the game of rugby league, surely. That's not... I don't put Roosters... I don't put the game of rugby... Okay. I don't put the additional value to the game of rugby league above my love for the Roosters in this instance. No. Not enough of a positive for the game of rugby league for me to want it to happen. Who makes the top 8? Panthers, Roosters, Warriors, Dolphins, Sharks, Manly, Knights. That last spot I'm not sure about. Oh, that's been knocked on by Jed Stewart. Probably Souths, but I don't know. We're going to review this for you. I mean, it was a knockoff from Jed Stewart. I'm very confident of that. I tipped Finns, Dogs, and Chooks today. So did I. So did I. I hope I both... we don't continue our form in the next game. That's for sure. Because... like, we got Cody Ramsey at fullback in the next game. And AJ Tedesco. We got Savala in at 7. I like him there, obviously. But, you know, it's not Sammy Walker. We got Benaya Uelu in for Reece Robson. Yeah. Egging away your new Roosters jersey? 100% I am. Yes, correct. Yeah, knock on Raiders. So, yeah, the votes were 49% to 51%. I can put them up on the screen right now in favor of the Raiders after 83 votes in this one. Very, very close. But technically, we're doing better than the last one because the last one, Dolphins were still on top. And that was 66-0. Yes, sorry, we are all rooting for Para. Yeah, I would absolutely expect the neutral to be going for Parramatta. That doesn't shock me at all. I obviously won't be, but anyway. This is not a massive upset. What I mean by massive upset in this instance is not like that lower team, the underdog won, that's a huge upset. I mean the extent of it. It's 30 points. It is an upset, and the margin of it is a massive margin. So, I would describe it as a massive upset. 7 they're through, but it's going to be ruled a forward pass. No, in fact, sorry, it's going to be ruled a changeover. That's a poor last tackle option. How Manly in 7th, by the way? Would you expect them to be higher or lower? They're 9 and 7. Cowboys are 9 and 7 as well. Cowboys might make the 8 over South. That's interesting, because I've got a bet with Sea Phantom in the chat about Cowboys making the 8. Would I rather Cowboys make the 8 and have to do the forfeit of that bet, or Rabbitohs make the 8 and, you know, have to watch the Rabbitohs making the 8? Because I don't want that either. Tigers are done. They can only lose 1 game from this point onwards. They do still have a bye to come, but yeah, that's not good. Thought they'd be higher? Well, they're 2 points off the Dolphins. They can overtake Dolphins tomorrow. Then they'll be 2 points behind Knights and Sharks and Roosters if Roosters lose today. So, thoughts on Dean's Twitch mod status? Do you still have Twitch mod status? Because you don't want it, right? Yeah. It's now gone. Penalty there, Canberra. It's all unfolding. All good, Kane? No dramas. I'm doing tipping with my family, and I said we shouldn't tip Dolphins because I thought Sharks would play better considering the players that were out, they didn't listen, and look where that got us. I mean, I wouldn't have listened. I thought even with all the players that were out, the Dolphins side was still good enough. It had a Trey Fuller game written all over it, and at KO Stadium, I thought it's kind of set up for the Finns, but no. Good evening, Matson. Good to see you. Just bumped into Norman from Sport Chat a few moments ago. Very cool. I love Norman. He's probably the man from Sport Chat I've had the most to do with because we played together at the charity matches. As a Brisbane fan, it's insane to think there's a world where they make the 8, where Brisbane make the 8. Can they still do it? Yeah, they've lost 11, so they need to win every single game from now on. Technically possible. Technically possible. Starling out there on the field now. So 19 minutes left in this one. He was heading off to the Roosters v Eels game while I'm heading home after filming some Rugby Onion. We ain't indulging with Rugby Onion, although I did actually say that I'm probably going to a Rugby Onion game later this year. Who's gonna tell, bro? What? Tell me what? They're gonna go for 2 again here. Not Starling. Sanders to kick them from right in front. Bang. 36-4. Bledisloe. Bledisloe. Yes. What's corn meat, Cade? I don't know if I've had corned beef, I think, before. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Oh, who's going to tell that Brisbane can make the 8, guy? They can make the 8. They can get to a 13-11 record. They just need to win every single game from this point onwards. What's that? Is that knock-on Raiders? I think that's the call there. Yeah, it's Dogs ball. All right, 0 tackle here for the Dogs. It's 36-4. I mean, I'll be honest. Anything they do really doesn't hold much consequence, but yeah. Yeah, I already shouted out Tyson earlier, Donna Bartolo. I assume that it is Tyson using Donna's account. Already did chat you out earlier, so yeah. Do you feel relieved knowing that the Roosters have one less threat for the premiership because the Dolphins can't win it anymore after conceding 50? I don't really view it that way, but yeah, from that perspective, absolutely I do. Score prediction next game. I think I just earlier said 28-12 Roosters. So, but I as the day's gone on, I've become less confident. That tends to be the way it goes. I tend to get nervous. But yeah. All right, Crichton. Oh, what a brilliant pass across to find Rindakama. Did well at the winger to stay in field there. Has he lost it though? He has. Crichton's down apparently. He is down. Crichton is not good after doing that brilliant cutout pass. Please, Raiders, fade the Dogs because it would be so damn funny. It really would be, but 14 points in 16 minutes is going to be a bit tricky. Going to be a little bit tricky. Again, Kate, I think I already did. I want to I read out your names when I read your comments, so that's sort of my way of giving out shout-outs. Yeah. I don't know what's up with Stephen Crichton here. He's still down. He is still down. Can Para make the 8? I think it's possible. Yeah, they're 6 and 10. So 6 because of the way buys work. Para with the 6 and 10 record are below Broncos who have a 5 and 11 record. Make it make sense. Anyway, so they can, if they lose only one game for the rest of the year. So they would need to win 7 and lose 1 of their final 8 games to make the 8. Kate says, you are the GOAT, bro. Thank you very much, Kate. Again, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate you saying that. Eels aren't making the 8. Of course they're not making the 8, but it's mathematically possible. Mini Egg says, can you ask Leaguie who would make a Mario Rugby League team? Okay. Obvious ones would be Bowser and Donkey Kong as my front rowers. No question about it. Big boy season. They'd be getting in amongst it in there. I'd have Waluigi and Luigi on the wings. Both lanky. very much Jack Bostock style. They can do a job there. I'm thinking who you want as the game manager. I mean, I think you take Mazza himself, a big M dog. Mario himself in a jersey number 7. It would feel wrong to not have Luigi as his 5'8", though, right? You know what? I'm giving Yoshi as his 5'8". I guess it's because I played Super Mario 64, but I think Yoshi is his GOAT. I think Yoshi is actually... No, I'm going to switch around. Because Yoshi can jump really high. I remember from Super Mario 64. So I'm going to switch it around. Mario and Luigi are the 7 and 6. Yoshi on the wing because he can jump so high. Fullback, you'd want someone small and fast. Not necessarily small, but, smallish. Crichton's still down here, by the way. I'm definitely taking Toad at 9. Toad at 9 has so much about it. Toad at 9, because he gets the job done. He's always there for you. Anywhere you look, Toad is there, serviceable. Very much sort of a little 9-star. Oh, they're bringing out the stretcher there for Stephen Crichton. This is not good. It's really not good. Wario ball playing lock. We need centers and back rowers. And a fullback. Give me Peach and Daisy in the centers. I reckon they'll do a job there. Sort of similar build, obviously. Got kind of that all-rounder about them. This is the best question I've ever been asked, by the way. I'm trying to think of the characters in Mario Kart. I don't know. I need 2 back rowers and a fullback. I need some suggestions. I'm not taking, variations of the characters, by the way. Don't get me Metal Mario. That woke nonsense. Utter woke nonsense. You reckon Shy Guy could be a fullback? I reckon Shy Guy would do a job at fullback. Koopa Trooper could be a good, solid Zach Hosking style back rower. I see that coming in clutch. Goomba? No, Goomba ain't doing anything. Dry Bones? Bones, that's true. Give me Koopa and Dry Bones in the back row. That would go great. That would go absolutely great. And then, is Kirby a Mario character, though? Kirby's in Super Smash, but, not a Mario character. Diddy Kong fullback. Diddy Kong fullback will do a brilliant job. Yep, I'm having that. Diddy Kong at fullback. Hell yes. Jumping up high, getting about everywhere. Very much a Surfar Longo style fullback there. So that's great. So we've got Diddy Kong at the back. On the wings, we've got Waluigi and Yoshi because he can jump really high. Centers is Daisy and Peach. Solid, getting the job done. Halfback and 5'8", Mazza and Lazza, as you would expect. Front rowers, Donkey Kong and Bowser. In at number 9, Toad. Little, do the job, solid, dependable, he's everywhere. In the back row, you got Koopa Trooper and you got Dry Bones. Again, similar build. Dry Bones as well, you're knocking down his hands up again. That's what you want from a back rower. And in there at lock, has a little bit of skill about him for sure. Wario would do a job. So I'm very happy with that. I'm heaps happy with that. Unfortunately, it came at a bad time because Stephen Crichton is down for the count. We still haven't seen him here. There's a big stoppage of play because he's down badly. I need some caffeine before the next game. I'm honestly that tired. Fortunately, we've still got half an hour until the next game. So George fan will be very happy with your fullback choice. That's true. He will. For different reasons, but yes. Let's get that into 27-0, see how it goes. It will win easy. It'll win very easy. Was there anything illegal in the tackle? It's been cleared. Oh, I really need caffeine. I think it's because I'm used to drinking Pepsi Max throughout these streams and I didn't have any today. I'm struggling. And I'm just not on enough sleep. Yeah, I do wonder. I mean, you never really know how bad it is. You obviously want to be taking precautions and stuff like that, but I talked about what they need to do for the rest of this season to make the 8 and the big games that they're going to be playing in. Panthers, Roosters, Storm, and Warriors as well. To do it without Stephen Crichton? Yeah, they're doing warm-ups here. Nerve issue. Jeez. What's your dream NRL team? Tedesco, Tupou, Toya, Smith, Nwangani Tawase, Cherry Evans, Walker, White, Robson, Collins, Crichton, Butcher, Radley. Actually, Crichton, Wong, Radley. Watson, Butcher, Lemieux. Then that last spot can go to a few different players. I'm throwing in Blake Steep. I love Blake Steep. Tommy Talau. And Rex Bassingthwaite. Of all time, look at the 2019 team. It'd be a mix of 2019 and 2013. Do you think Teddy could be the next Roosters coach after Trent Robinson? It's really hard to say. I think Robinson's got such a long time left coaching that you really don't know what it's going to look like once he retires. I don't know if Teddy really has coach about him, though. I thought Cooper Cronk really did. It looks like he's just going to stick to media. But you could have Daly Cherry Evans, another solid option. But again, I think these are guys who will probably spend time as an assistant under Robinson and then go elsewhere. I don't think Robinson's close to finishing up whatsoever. So, hope Critter's okay. Of course, yeah, no, naturally. But again, I just love to sort of know more about it. It's weird. It brings you back a bit to, we saw Corey Haraway and Nara go down in a match at Olympic Park, and it wasn't. I'm not saying it's anywhere near that bad. That was a super bad injury, but with that, we didn't really see replays of the tackle. We didn't see the player down on the ground much at all. It was just shots of the players, which was the right thing to do. And this felt a little bit like that. I don't know. What do you think about LaChon Mitchell? I adore him as a rugby league player. I think he's great and massively entertaining. He was my favorite player back in the day at the Roosters. Unfortunately, left to South, and obviously no longer like him as much anymore. But still a very likable player in terms of watching him. Entertaining player. Maybe likable is not the right word. NRL the GOAT says, you're the GOAT, Leaguie. I disagree. I think NRL is the GOAT, as your username would say. Mini Egg, can you ask you to make a Super Smash team now? Only, Mini Egg, I will do it only if your dad buys you an additional Sunderland Association Football Club jersey. That's the reason. Oh, a one-on-one step. That's Ethan Strange. It's when it's your day, it's your day. And the Raiders, I think they're going to hit 40 here. Hosking on to find Tapani. Just give it to Hosking again. Just keep giving it to Zach Hosking. The man is an absolute magnet for points right now. Starling to find Sanders. Noah Martin, close, not there. With Haraway and Ira, the players deliberately blocked the cameras. The camera attempted to film him and both teams blocked it. Yeah, and then thankfully the TV directors got the message. But yeah. Yeah, not so likable back then, Lily. Certainly. Sanders will put a kick behind on the fourth. Sasangi's there. Sasangi scores. My goodness. Again, obviously this is not the extent of 66-0, but I'm looking at this scoreline being like, what has happened? How has this happened? How have we got the Raiders having put 40 other Dogs out there at Sydney Olympic Park? Dogs had so much to play for today. Don't you dare put that on me again. I will, and you will do it. You will be happy about it. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe it. I was saying throughout a lot of this season that I think the Raiders were not as bad as their latter position suggested, and certainly their form in recent weeks has backed that up. But this is the peak of it. This is the absolute peak of it. There's like 30 really happy Raiders fans and no one else since the Dogs have no fans. Raiders have fans, though. Legman, my thigh's killing me. When is that loan mon coming in? You still haven't paid the loan fee, which is unfortunately $1 million. Anyone who knows that reference, I like you instantly more as a person. You think I'm made of money, man? I mean, you've got a prestigious job as one of the moderators of r/NRL. As I know personally, that's an egregiously high-paying position. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You will eat some bugs, you will buy the Sunderland jersey. I mean, yeah, I would think one of those is a bit better than the other, though. For sure. NRLW final score, Sydney Roosters 12, Newcastle Knights 10. Yes, correct. Also didn't expect Raiders to put out this performance. I don't think anyone did. Well, I certainly didn't. I'm glad the Roosters goals got a win. It was very close, tight towards the end. I was watching it, but yeah, very happy with it. It's a nice photo that was just shown. An Eels fan with a Daniel Tupou sign. Tongan Eels fan. Love it. 13 and a half minutes until that game. I'm going to brew the most diabolically good coffee to see me through that game, bro. It's going to hit like mother's milk. It's going to hit like crack. It's going to be so good. Can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it. Alright. Kraz plays it there to find Lockie Galvin on from Tracy to find Hattie Hayes. Fun fact, Hayes, one of the names of the mechanics in the hate game GTA 5. True story. I know that because I have no life. Will there be a Dolls comeback? No! No, there will not. No. Nah. Soz. Nah. No. No. Nah. Not. Nah. No. Nah. It's crazy the difference in success this year between the Bronx women and men. Bronx women have got a long way to go, but yeah, certainly. The way it's going at the moment. Raiders penalty as well. Given away in possession from the Dogs. They were attacking there. Being a Sunderland fan, I can only imagine it's Blend 43. Hey, it's Nescafe. Thank you very much. Instant.
Dolphin have conceded 118 points at Kayo in 2 games.
Damn! Really? What was the other game? Was it the Manly game? That felt... Surely they played once. At KO since then. That was round 5. No, it was. Damn. They played there twice and got feeded there twice. That's crazy. That's crazy. Haven't really been watching the game and looked at your graphics and thought Canberra had the half of a lifetime. That is pretty funny. No. I don't know why the clock stopped. That's very annoying. They would have had to have had the half of the lifetime for the clock to be working like that. But, my bad. I don't know what's up with it. I don't think it's a problem with NRL.com. No, their clock's fine. There we go. Alright. On the 4th here. That's a knock on there from the Raiders, unfortunately. Man gets it. Still headgear looking egregiously white. Pin the ears back a little bit. Unfortunately, didn't really have heaps of speed to get away with it there. At what point does Gus come wandering onto the training field to undercut Serrato like he did to Barrett? Just do it, bro. He should do it now. I heard an interview with him. It was a good interview on the James Green's Buy Round podcast about it, where he's like, nah, I had nothing to do with the day-to-day running of the side. And I'm like, yeah. I bet you also never met Lockie Galvin. But you'd also never heard of Lockie Galvin. Second graphical error of the stream after Leaguie crowed about having no graphic errors this stream. Alright, I would like to make it clear though. Hey, what was the first? That one's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong with that. It just randomly stopped working and I had to refresh it. 100% footy going to be a cracker if Gus is on the panel Monday. Cue the arguments. He'll certainly be trying to defend himself for it, that's for sure. But yeah. Alright. Run there from Max King. On the first here, Hayward gets it on to find Lockie Galvin. Back to find Harry Hayes. Short ball, Preston gets it on to find Burton, and they do strike again. It's going to be 40 points, 2-8, with a bow and arrow try celebration there. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And they've got a chance to kick to be down by only 30 points. CVSB with block colours. Okay, that also wasn't really my... Actually, that one was my fault. No, that one was certainly my fault, actually. That one I will admit responsibility to. Not the clock, though. The reason why is NRL.com, and I blame it entirely. I really should code it to be on Fox's timer, not NRL.com's timer. But anyway. Fox's timer is not necessarily synced up to the broadcast timer either, so... Oh my god. I need to either sleep or get a coffee in me before this Roosters game. I'm struggling. I'm rugby league struggling. Carback is alive? Absolutely. 30 points in 8 minutes. It can be done. We've seen it done before and we will see it done again. Damn it. Hell yes. Okay. Stephen Crichton on his feet walking around. That's what you want to hear. That's good stuff. It's obviously great stuff. That's exactly what you'd hope for. I wonder what Serrato's going to say in the press conference. He does not look happy at all. He might drop the N-word, but like not accidentally this time. I think just out of anger. Is that okay to say? I don't know if that's okay to say. It probably isn't okay to say. Someone clip that. Go down to the uni commissary and get a mother or a monster. I do have a vending machine about 10 meters from my room. Low-key need it. I just need a Coles run tomorrow. Hayward, out of dummy half. Oh, hit there was Sean O'Sullivan.
Just redeemed Pepsi Max.
I thought half Pepsi though. I've replaced it with lemonade. Which is really intense solo lemonade. Oh, good, NRL, the GOAT. See you later. Tracy with it. Now on to find Kurt Mann, who's recognisable because his head looks like the ball. Oh, good run there from Kurt Mann. Great stuff. How many games has he played now for the Dogs? Relative to the other teams that he's played for over the course of his career. I feel like he's very balanced out. 28 games at Melbourne, 60 at the Dragons, 90 at the Knights, and 52 at the Dogs. That's very well spread out for 230 games. Very quite evenly split. With the exception of Melbourne. That was an awful little last tackle option there from Canterbury. My God. If Twitch or YouTube eel you, then you will know if you're allowed. What? Huh? How much time left? A solid 6.5 rugby league minutes. GD Bulldogs, you're not making the grand final. I don't know if they were really thinking they were going to make the grand final anyway. But yeah. If Twitch or YouTube email you, then you will know if you're allowed. To do what? I am tripping. I'm like egregiously tripping. This is probably the best Raiders performance of the season. Yeah, it's hard to look past, certainly. This is a side that beat them earlier in the year here in Canberra. Going up in a game where they were underdogs, sure. Can't disagree. Oh, yes, true, Lorenzo. Speaking of Twitch terms of service, so I've just basically... There was a rule for a very long time, it's going to be penalty Dogs there, that you weren't allowed to display chats from other platforms on your Twitch stream. And I just kind of did anyway, because I wanted to. And they've recently repealed that rule. So now you're allowed to display multi-chat on screen, which is great. That's exactly what you want. So that's what I've got. Now, Leaguie isn't a booby streamer. Dan won't let Leaguie get away with dropping the N-word. Yeah, that's also quite true. However, I do have the facilities to become a booby streamer. I could absolutely do that. I just don't want to. Salmon for the line here. Doesn't quite get there. This is going to be the second here. Plays it there. The weak gutter dog himself. Back to find Kurt Mann. Now in the hands of Galvin. Oh, brilliant pass from Sean O'Sullivan over the top to find Jethro and Akama. He just finds the ground there. I feel bad for my friend who goes for Bulldogs. Would be a very, very tough watch at the moment. Hayward on to find Sean O'Sullivan. Now he gets it to Galvin. In the hands of Bronson Sherry. Out there in the centres. Did he kick it on the third? He did. Tarpany with a bit of rugby league being played there to get to KO Weeks. Love it. It was a very anti-competitive rule from Twitch and I'm glad it's gone. Yes. He made their own product worse as well because you'd be reading out YouTube chats and they wouldn't be displaying for Twitch viewers. You surely want Twitch viewers to be part of that conversation. You know what I mean? But they also had this rule before and I don't know if they still have it now. But if you were multi-streaming, the quality of your stream on Twitch had to be at least as good as the quality of your stream on every other platform. So basically, you weren't allowed to stream at a higher resolution on YouTube than you were on Twitch. Someone doing a well-being check on Winston Neville? What? After we did a well-being check on Matt Galaxy earlier. Hopefully we're not getting to the end of the next game saying someone do a well-being check on the Leaguie. Not good. If Roosters smash the Eels, but don't give Tupou at least 15 tries to honour his years at the club, will you be mad? Because I'll be mad. I'll be mad. I'll be mad. The GOAT says, I'm angry, I'm so sad. I can understand why you might be. I can understand why you might be. Yeah, Storm on top. I will be putting on my Roosters jersey for when they play. 100% for sure. Absolutely. Sea Fans has just returned and dropped a Count Bin face. Respect to you. Absolute respect to you. When I was testing my graphics, this is actually a match, a combination that I put in. Because I don't know, I feel that these two teams make the graphics look really cool. The blue and the green. Great tackle there from Tarpany. Over the top from Galvin, little chip and chase. Tracy didn't get it. Hayes got it eventually, and Burton knocks on, and it's an absolute rugby league mess. And Weeks has it. Sorry, I know one thing that isn't, and it's play on. Because every single team knocked it on. But anyway. Bro, I should have waited before sending Critter an essay on how much I love him, because I thought it would be his season over. You sent him an essay after he got injured? That's kind of hilarious, though. That's kind of... It's very sweet of you. It's very sweet of you. That's what it is. Very nice. Choose my goat says, Leaky, I'm back. Hell yes. It says these are your first words on the stream. So thank you for being here. 2 minutes left. Thank God. It's been a struggle. Being a rugby league struggle. Not only is my lack of caffeination like absolutely not aiding me, but I think also the fact that both games have been dead. Like there's been a lot going on, but like, you know, they're not intense. So I've had to do a lot more carrying, I think, than I otherwise normally would. Do you think they can catch up? No. No. There's a minute and a half left in the game. No. I can't do it, bro. No. Thankfully. It's like 400 words. I also sent it to his wife. You slid into Stephen Crichton's wife DMs. That's not couth. Renakama with a little bit of space here. He's had a better second half than the first half. That is for sure. Not the bar was overly high. But anyway. Tracy gets it to find King. My broadcast just kind of stuttered there. Man with another line break. He's done well, Kurt, man. In this one, still standing in the tackle, gets it to Preston, now in the hands of Renakama. Fair bit of rugby league being played out there right now, and he just takes the tackle there. 1 minute left in this one. Storm says 25 seconds. I've got 49 seconds left on my clock, so... Who's your favourite Manly player? I mean, it's obvious. But Turbo. Either Turbo or Gerbo. Probably Turbs. I love Hamole, actually. No, probably Hamole. It'll be Hamole for sure. Short ball there to find Salmon. Oh, he didn't have the support. He found it eventually, actually. Connor Tracy picks up the ball. Grounds it. Does the bow celebration. A couple of late consolation tries for the Dogs. Leaguie do a black fifth if the Raiders win. So not only will I have to decline because obviously Raiders are going to win, but I don't have the facilities for that, big man. You would see my scoliosis ass go on my bed, try and do a backflip, and so like it would go one of two ways. Either I would cure myself of scoliosis, or egregiously damage myself to an extent where I wouldn't be able to walk anymore. That's the one of the two outcomes that would occur. Nah. Clock has stopped. Quote, Britain should stop buying weapons from Saudi Arabia and start buying them from Count Binface. Quote from Count Binface. Love that. Shout out the Count. Burton converts. Oh. Like, what the hell? I can highlight the V? I can apparently highlight the V. Did not know I could do that. And, okay, well that's not something I ever want to be able to do. How do I unhighlight... okay, I'm just... well... This also isn't my fault, by the way. This doesn't count as a visual bug. I didn't know that this was possible. Okay, there we go. It's 40-16. Why is the V stuffed up? I don't know. Could have got something else. I clicked on everything else. Alright, 15 seconds left. Oh, and that's gone out. Salmon got it and it's gone out. It doesn't matter. Took possession of stepped out Raiders ball. 3, 2, 1. Bang. Game Jova. Oh.
Lorenzo Theraborn just redeemed Pepsi Max Sip.
Who would have thunk it? Okay, we have less than 5 minutes until the kickoff of the next game. I wanted more time than that. Will be real. I also absolutely... Do I need to get coffee? I probably do. I also need to get change. So, on YouTube, sit tight. You'll be automatically redirected to the next stream, Roosters versus Eels. And as I leave you with, for the time being, the Raiders theme song, I'll see you guys in a sec.